Okay, that's enough of that. I was having fun with that for a while, and I decided to just curve that. I was trying to find that weird swirly background that I used to keep, the red vortex, and I can't find it now. I failed you all. I tried to make a spooky ambient atmosphere, and I just can't. I couldn't do it. It's a round of disappointment for everyone. It's going to be one of the few times. Hold on, let me put my plump and quite not that pleasant face on screen. Wait, where am did I push myself into a corner? Wait a minute, no, the fucking image is blocking me. No, Ben, why? Why? Curse you, Ben. Okay, I gotta... Oh man, I might have to do away with... No, wait, I can do this. Hold on, I just have to put this over here. I totally fit with all this also frightening imagery here. Hello everyone's Vinsov, and welcome to my critiquing, I guess you can call it, hence the name of, the title of the fucking video. A classic pouch critique of the classic Ben Drown, written by Drew Usable. I had intended to cover this a long while back, but I was kind of apprehensive to approach it because I have such a, I guess, a positive leaning towards the story based off past experiences. And I heard it the first time, I loved it, and if it weren't for bonding with Michael Lawa or Jacob Sherwood and the Bad Creepypasta crew about how much we enjoyed the story, I think we could have still gravitated towards each other, but I think that was also like one of the things that really got us like engaging with each other. But I feel like I was somewhat biased, but I don't think I'm completely unable to approach this, from a critical lens. Like, I think I can actually do it and do it in a tactful and respectful way. So I am very much prepared because this is a very long story. This is going to be quite long, so I can see I can have where is it? Where'd I put it? Where'd I put it? Damn it! This is a Van Gogh, double espresso vodka. 35, of course. Actually, I actually do genuinely love this stuff. I didn't think I would, but it goes down really smooth. I really do dig it. I don't know what I want to try to mix it with yet. So I got that and a bottle of gamer juice, aka Gatorade, because sitting down in this chair and reading stories takes a lot out of a man. It's very physically exhausting. That's what people don't understand. Like when Ninja went on stream and like got bitchy about, well, you wouldn't just tell LeBron James it's just a game, in reference to him getting paid money to play a video game. I don't completely hate esports, but I kind of hate that weird sense of self-worth that people kind of have about something like that. It's a kind of a new medium. So people shouldn't be acting all pissy that people don't, the average Joe hasn't really taken off with it yet. Like, I don't take it seriously, but it's going to take, like, even if I chose to, it would take time. You got to sell me on it, And I speak in relative terms, because I know esports has been around since, I think for a few decades now, but you have to also bear in mind that, a few decades, but we're also comparing this to sports that have a longer, richer history, Drinking straight, get absolutely hammered? Absolutely not. We need all of our mental faculties to be in check to be able to process this story. Now, we're going to be reading this in parts. Depending on, I guess, how exhausted I am, I'm going to be coming in and out of this, but also, we're going to be watching and kind of looking over the videos that are associated with the story. I kind of debated on whether or not I was going to do that for this particular installment, but I feel that while I think that this story is one of those creative works that don't necessarily hinge on the videos themselves, I remember they added just so much, and I think if it's intended to be a part of the story, I think it would be to the benefit of me as someone who's coming in to try and review it critically to, cover it as the author originally intended. So I'm going to make sure everyone's comfortable, everyone's settled in. Let me try to find some spooky music. It can't just be Ben Drowned all the time. I'm tempted to, but it can't always be Ben Drowned. What's my... I just remember Ben is still here. Can I not find a swirly background? Where did I put it? Why don't I save my files into one giant folder? Damn it. To say I'm ill-prepared would be an understatement, because that would mean that I put a token amount of effort into having some level of preparation. Oh, that just looks terrible. Okay, that's Ben. That's Ben's file. Oh, by the way, thank you so much for... I don't know who I'm pissed off in general, and I want to direct that towards... Oh, you can see my little chin. Yeah, because you see my chin, I shaved. I'm kind of regretting it. But now people can see that I have two chins. I mean, the fact that I'm close to 400 pounds, I thought I could hide it just by having a shaggly goatee, but, I thought it was fooling everyone. Everyone thought I was much lighter than I was because of the fucking goatee. That made me look like a homeless man. God, where is it? Where is it? Ben, you fucker, did you hide it from me? Did Ben possess my files to hide the squiggly lines from me? I knew he was evil, but damn. His evil knows no bounds. This is why you check where you save your fucking images. Looking through it all. It's not important, but still, I thought it would have been really nifty. Like, the video's trying to hypnotize you. Spooky music, that song that Dream released, the one about the mask, was terrifying. I want nothing to do with Dream, even tangentially. There are people that I think don't understand the animosity that he gets, and I can understand why, because I think most people are decent human beings and want to essentially avoid any form of drama because they have no time for it. I keep up with drama to a varying degree, if only because I think I like being in the know of what's happening for the most part. And looking at Dream, looking at his social media and whatnot, I maybe you can call this juvenile of me to say, and I think it's I can understand someone calling me even paranoid for saying this. Let me just put Ben right here, so it's like we're twinsies. Yay! Let me see. I'm gonna put Ben, and then Ben's going to hold on. Come on, and Ben's going to hold me and protect me. In fact, can I hold on? I'm trying to make this setup as cozy as possible. Ben, senpai, please. Protect me from the spookiness of your titular story. The eponymous character of Ben Drowned is here to save the day. There we go. Oh, that's what kind of looks creepy. Okay, there's that, and we're gonna put up the thing right here. You think I would have had this all figured out beforehand, but no. Just crop this. I should have done this. Yeah, I should have done this much earlier. Yeah, well, yeah. Basically, the point I was trying to make about of Dream is that I don't fucking trust him one fucking bit, and I think he comes off as kind of like a disingenuous snake. I inherently don't trust anyone who models themselves with an unrealistic standard of well, how do I put this? Positivity. You can afford to be. You can afford to let yourself show a little bit of vulnerability every now and again. People don't fault you for it. Now, the people that do fault you for it, I don't think they're really worth most of your time. But I don't know. The moment that, hold on, what am I doing? I want to crop the image that, whatever. Fuck it. I'm just gonna. It might not look as good as it can. Just gonna put this here, stretch this downward. No, come on. Stretch, filtering, transform. Stretch. I wanted to, I don't think I will be able to do this the way I want to. Because I want to have it, like, in the corner Just enough where people can read it and still see the spooky imagery. I really should have thought this through. Why is it maintaining its aspect ratio? That's probably why I'm having trouble with this. What the fuck? No, don't do that. Why is everything going wrong? I trust no Minecraft YouTuber. It's well, yeah, I think that's fair. Honestly, and I again, I don't like to. I hate making generalizations like that, but it's at this point, can you really blame anyone for? Oh, can you really blame anyone for making those kind of generalizations where it seems to be a consistent pattern of behavior from people within a specific, like, little niche demographic? I think it's not just the fact that it's Minecraft YouTuber. I think it's also the fact that when you add into the fact that it's grown adults who are playing a game that's geared mostly towards a younger demographic, and I think that that's kind of a recipe for disaster in and of itself. I think it's a. I hate saying that because it makes me feel like I'm talking down to people who enjoy video games and enjoy Minecraft like adults, and I'm not doing that. One of my favorite fucking games is Terraria, and that's I'd argue a little bit more. I don't know. I think roughly the same demographic, but one's less family friendly than the other in terms of imagery. But I don't know. Not even 10 minutes in, vintage 600. I think it looks pretty cool. So we're gonna start this off right now, and I hope everyone's gathered and ready. If we get to a whole 13 viewers, I'll take a shot, and I'll kick it back. I swear I will. And I'll take a shot anyway. It doesn't matter. So this is Ben Drown by Ben Drown, written by Ben Drown. Okay. Oh fuck! Oh, forgot this fucking music. So we just have the Song of Unhealing playing in the background constantly. I don't like how the other one was looped. Hold on, let me see if we can find something. Song of Unhealing. What? One of the results is Song of Unhealing reversed. The Song of Unhealing reversed is the Song of Healing from the original fucking Majora's Mask game. Mask game. What do you mean Song of Unhealing reversed? Some people, they drive me to drink. Which I'm not doing right now because I don't want to. Smooth McGroove has an acapella version of it. Although I love Smooth McGroove, but I think having that on loop would get annoying after a while. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just have this on loop. Fuck you, Bean Danny Mandel. I see what you did there. You're trying to get me on a list. And I ain't having it, dog. Okay, I didn't realize that was showing. Let me get rid of that so you guys can't see. I don't want you to see the tools of the trade. I don't want you to know just how many secret viewers I have. I have millions. They just haven't logged in yet. It's late at night. Can you blame them? They just probably got off from work. They're like, I don't feel like watching a stream. I gotta, I gotta just chill, kick my feet up, have a drink. Is logical. Let's be honest. It's only a matter of time. Like, someone needs to contact PewDiePie in whatever little dingy hovel he lives in Sweden and tell him that his days are numbered and that he can only stop my meteoric rise for so long. I've been doing YouTube for 10 years and I've managed to make 500 whole subscribers. Alright? So I think that's a sign that the big things are to come from my channel. So if someone could respectfully tell him to send a written apology for standing in my way, that would be much appreciated. And also delete his channel. Most people would say, he needs to be arrested for constantly getting in the way of my obvious successes, but I'm a kind-hearted and caring individual, and all I want is proper recompense, and I think that will be in the form of him not being my direct competitor anymore and deleting his channel and sending me all his money. How you doing? The Bagel Raggle, the Bagel Raggle, the Koi Monster Chaos, Cameron Colley, Apostrophe Music, Mike 27X, Bean Detty Poppy Mandela, and everyone else. I hope you're ready to be properly spooked. We're ready for this. I've been meandering about for too long. Now it's time for us to actually get into the story. It says right here, don't post Kevin. Don't post Cleverbot conversations in this. It says, let's be clear about that. The pasta. Oh God, it makes me feel so old. Look how old this is. The pasta. Post 1, September 7, 2010. Okay, X, I need your help with this. This is not a copy pasta. This is a long read, but I feel like my safety or well-being could very well depend on this. This is a video game related, specifically Majora's Mask. Sorry, this is video game related, specifically Majora's Mask. Sorry, just someone's like PewDiePie versus T-Berries. Nah, PewDiePie versus Vince 12 is the real drama. Okay, where was I? And this is the creepiest shit that's ever happened to me in my entire life. Having said that, I recently moved into my dorm starting as a sophomore in college, and a friend of mine gave me his old Nintendo 64 to play. I was stoked, to say the very least. I want to go on record and say, the N64 is overrated. GameCube was better. Just saying. Someone clip this and send it to Jacob Sherwood, and also tell him that every single rare game he enjoys sucks, especially Conker's Bad Fur Day and Donkey Kong 64. Oh, and Banjo-Kazooie, fuck that game too. His N64 came out. I can't say that. Like N64 was one of the first. Well, I think it was the second Nintendo game console I ever got for Christmas, and I was so happy. His N64 came with one yellow controller and a rather shoddy copy of Super Smash Bros. And while beggars can't be choosers, needless to say, it didn't take long until I became bored of beating up level 9 CPUs. That weekend, I decided to drive around the neighborhoods, and about 20 minutes or so off campus, heading up local garage sales and hoping to score a few good deals from ignorant parents. I ended up picking up a copy of Pokemon Stadium, GoldenEye, fuck yeah, F-Zero, and 2 other controllers for $2. Wait, is that all that for $2, or the controller for $2? Because I called. Oh, god damn it! It's 13 viewers already. I said I would. Now I gotta. Hold on. Make sure you guys can see it. I do. I'm not even joking. I do love this shit. Whew. Whew. That's another one that my sister got. It was I think I posted it in the Jacob's Discord. It was this right here. Hold on, let me just reach back to see how fat I am. Oh. This is Seagram's sweet tea flavored vodka. It's a little harsher. I made the erroneous mistake of, you know, you can mix vodka with orange juice to make a screwdriver. And I quite enjoy screwdrivers, so I decided, let me try this with the sweet tea. And I made it taste like fucking medicine. Satisfied, I began to drive out of the neighborhood when one last house caught my attention. I still have no idea why it did. There were no cars there, and there was only one table set up with random junk on it. But something sort of drew me there. I usually trust my gut on these things, so I got out of the car and was greeted by an old man. His outward appearance was, for lack of a better word, displeasing. It was odd. if you asked me to tell you why I thought he was displeasing, I couldn't really pinpoint anything. There was just something about him that put me on edge, and I can't quite describe it. All I can tell you that if it wasn't in the middle of the afternoon and there weren't people within shouting distance, I would not have even thought to approach this man. I don't know why. I always imagined, for some reason, when it came to the old man from this creepypasta, I always imagined him wearing a turtleneck. I don't know why that specifically, but an old man at a garage sale with like kind of a lazy eye wearing a turtleneck immediately strikes me as like weird, kind of like I don't feel comfortable vibes. Like something ain't right, if that makes any sense. He flashed a crooked smile at me and asked what I was looking for, and immediately I noticed that he must be blind in one of his eyes. His right eye had that glazed over look about it. I forced myself to look at his left eye instead, trying not to offend, and asked him if he had any old video games. I was already wondering how I could politely excuse myself from the situation when he would tell me that he had no idea what a video game was, but to my surprise he said he had a few ones in an old box. He assured me that he would be back in a quote-unquote jiffy and turned back to head into his garage. As I watched him hobble away, I couldn't help but notice what he was selling on his table. Littered across the table were peculiar paintings, various artworks that looked like ink blocks that a psychiatrist might show you. Curious, I looked through them. It was obvious why no one was visiting this guy's garage sale, and these weren't exactly aesthetically pleasing. As I came to the last one, for some reason it looked like Majora's Mask. The same heart-shaped body with the little spikes protruding onward. Initially I thought that since I was secretly hoping to find the same game at this garage sale, some Freudian bullshit was projecting itself into the ink blots. But given the events that happened afterwards, I'm not so sure now. I should have asked the man about it. I wish I had asked the man about it. After staring at the Majora ink blot, I looked up and see the old man was... After staring at the Majora-shaped blot, I looked up to see the old man suddenly there again, in arm's length in front of me, smiling at me. I'll admit I jumped out of reflex and I laughed nervously as he handed me a Nintendo 64 cartridge. It was the standard gray color, except that it had someone had written Majora on the back in permanent marker. I got butterflies in my stomach as I realized what a coincidence this was, and I asked him how much he wanted for it. The old man smiled at me and told me I could have it for free. That it used to belong to a kid that was about my age who didn't live here anymore. There was something weird about how the old man phrased that, but I didn't pay any attention to it then. I was too caught up on finding this game, not only just finding this game, but getting it for free. Hey, Superstar Planet, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the stream. You ever leave Florida? I'm living in New York now, yes. And we're gonna be moving not too long ago, like around a little bit out of the month of July. We're gonna be moving to another place too, not out of the state, but out of our current living, out of our current flat, I guess. The way because the screen protector on my phone is cracked, Cameron Canali, you said, "Wow, Joe Usable hates old people." It's the way it's cracked. It looks like it said WCW. Joe Usable hates it because, like, he's an actual professional wrestler. Okay. I reminded myself to be a bit skeptical since it looks like a pretty shady cartridge, and there's no guarantee it would work. But then the optimist in me injected that it was some kind of beta version or pirated version of the game, and that was all I needed to be back on Cloud 9. I thanked the man. The man smiled back at me and wished me well, saying, "Goodbye, then." At least that's what it sounded like to me. All the way in the car ride home, I had a nagging doubt that the man had said something else. My fears were confirmed when I booted up the game. To my surprise, it worked just fine, and there was one save file simply named Ben. "Goodbye, Ben," was what he was saying. "Goodbye, Ben." I felt bad for him. Obviously a grandparent, and obviously going senile, and I, for some reason or another, reminded him of his grandson Ben. There's one I would like to comment right now. One of the things I kind of like about this story thus far, and it feels weird to be paying it a compliment based on what the stories that kind of preceded it, that took influence without understanding what worked about it, was the character of the old man that gives him a mysterious cartridge. Like anytime you see it in like other works, like at any other story that's trying to replicate Ben Drowned, it's always like people who like are always like panicked or seemingly like they kind of go too over the top. And this is just some kind of some strange dude who's like having a garage sale, and he just hands his cartridge off, and he seems friendly enough, if a little strange. And that's it. That's all you really need. It's kind of unsettling because you can more easily depict it in your mind because it's so grounded. Now I'm just imagining Ben with Hulk Hogan's face. Yeah, I bet. Sonic.exe won. What? What is this about Sonic.exe winning in my chat? Stephen K. I used to work at Circle K, so I'm hoping I can travel soon. Okay. I'm happy for you, brother. Yeah, I was working at a convenience store at some point, and especially during when the pandemic really hit, and people coming in, and I had a lot of regular customers that were really good people, but the people that just came in, and it was the same few questions every fucking time. Hand sanitizer, toilet paper. I couldn't stand it. Because, I don't know, like, it kind of made the day a little bit slower, because there would be less people coming in, because the customers who already, like, lived in the area and, like, frequented us knew what we had and didn't have because we told them. And the ones that were kind of, like, from out of our little neighborhood, they just, like, they didn't care. Out of curiosity, I looked at the save file, eyeballing it, and I could tell that it was pretty far. He was pretty far in the game. Maybe Ben was just the old man. You ever think about that? Maybe that old man would really push your shit in if you invited him to play Super Smash Brothers with you. Like, this is what's his name if he retired from gaming. What's the name of that fucking dude that Amp Lemon made a documentary about? Hungry Box? Is that what his name was? He's about to push your shit in with Jigglypuff. That's be the real story. Hold on, let me... Yeah, I'll just look at Ben right now. Ben, I'm assuming he's over there on screen. See this guy? See that guy right there? Or that guy up... Wait, he's up there. This guy right here, Ben. This is really the old man in the future. This is the old man in the past. And he's going to grow up to be a legendary Smash player. I would worry about looking like a dipshit, but, why start having standards now? The curiosity has stuff to say file. Eyeballing. I noticed that he had almost all of the mask and three-fourths remains of the bosses. I noticed that he had used an owl statue to save his game, and he was on day 3, and by the Stone Tower Temple with hardly an hour left before the moon would crash. I remember thinking that it was a shame that he had come so close to beating the game but would never finish it. I named my new save file link out of tradition and started the game, ready to relive my childhood. For such a shady looking cartridge, I was impressed how smoothly it ran. Literally like a retail copy of the game save for a few minor hiccups here and there, like textures being where they shouldn't be, random flashes of cutscenes at odd intervals, but nothing too bad. However, one thing was a little unnerving. The one thing that was a little unnerving was that at times the NPCs would call me Link, and at other times they would call me Ben. I figured it was just a bug, a fluke in the programming that caused our files to get mixed up or something. It did kind of creep me out after a while, and it was around after I had beaten the Woodfall Temple that I regrettably went into the save files and deleted Ben. I had intended to preserve the file out of respect to the game's original owner, and it's not like I needed 2 files anyway, hoping that would solve the problem. It did and didn't. Now NPCs wouldn't call me anything. Where my name should be in dialogue, there was just a blank space. My save file was still called Link though. Frustrated with some homework to do, I put the game down for a day. I started playing the game again last night, getting the Lens of Truth and working my way towards completing the Snowhead Temple. Now, some of you more hardcore Majora's Mask players know about the 4th day glitch. For those of you who don't know, Google it, but the gist of it is that right as the clock is about to strike 000, on the final day, you can talk to the astronomer and look through the telescope. If you do it at the right, if you time it right, the countdown disappears, and you essentially have another day to finish whatever you were doing. Deciding to do the glitch to try and finish the Snowhead Temple, I happened to get it right in the first try, and the time counter at the bottom disappeared. However, when I pressed B to exit the telescope, instead of being greeted by the astronomer, I found myself in the Majora boss fight room at the end of the game, the trippy boxed area, staring at Skull Kid hovering above me. There was no sound, just him floating in the air above me. The background music was regular for the area, but still creepy. Immediately my palms began to sweat. Blah blah blah. Mom spaghetti. Yeah, it's real funny. That joke hasn't gotten old yet. What is happening here? High-end sanitizer toilet paper. You know, Bean Daddy, I'm getting real sick and tired of you making fun of me on my streams. Hold on, I'm gonna do something about that right now. I'm gonna do something about that right now. I'll show you, mister. There, I made you a mod. Fuck you. Now you're gonna get arrested for child porn, because that's what happens when people become mods of anything, it seems. However, when I press B to exit the telescope, instead of being greeted by the okay, where was it? Immediately my palms began to sweat. This was definitely not normal. Skull Kid never appeared there. I tried moving around the area, and no matter where I went, Skull Kid would always be facing me, looking at me, not saying anything. Nothing would happen, though. And this kept up for around 16 seconds. I thought the game was bugged or something, but I was beginning to doubt that very much. I was about to reach for the reset button when the text appeared on screen. You're not sure why, but you apparently had a reservation. I instantly recognized that text. You get that when you get the room and the key from Anju in the Stockpot Inn, but why was it playing here? I refused to entertain the notion that it was almost as if the game was trying to communicate with me. I started to navigate the room again, testing to see if that was some sort of trigger that enabled me to interact with something there, but then realizing how stupid I was. To even think that someone reprogrammed the game was like this was absurd. Sure enough, 15 seconds later, another message appeared on screen, and again, like the first one, it was already pre-existing phrase. Go to the lair of the temple's boss, yes or no? I paused for a second, contemplating what I should press and how the game would react. Then I realized that I couldn't select no. Taking a deep breath, I pressed yes, and the screen faded to white, with the words "Dawn of a New Day" and a text, with a subtext of several lines beneath it. Where I was ported filled me with the most intense sense of dread and impending fear I had ever experienced. The only way I could describe the way I felt here was having this feeling of inexplicable depression on a profound scale. I am normally not a depressed person, but the way I felt here was a feeling that I didn't even know existed. It was such a twisted, powerful presence that seemed to wash over me. I appeared in some kind of Twilight Zone version of Clocktown. I walked out of Clocktown as you can normally do when you start day one, only to find that all the inhabitants were gone. Usually, with the 4th day glitch, you still find guards and a dog that runs around outside the tower. This time, they were all gone. What replaced them was the ominous feeling that there was something out there in the same area as me that was watching me. I had 4 hearts to my name and a hero's bow, but at this point I wasn't even considered for my avatar. I think he meant concern. Ah, found a typo in this game. My god. This is the worst fucking... How many typos does Sonic.exe the remake have, huh? Riddle me that, chat. Your hero has fallen. This is the worst story ever. Clip this thing too and send it to Michael Lawa. Tell him that I said Banjo-Kazooie sucks, Rare sucks. I hate the N64. I hate Shadow Man. And Sonic.exe is the remake, and the original is better than Ben Drowned. Tell him all that. Apostrophe music. I derided that joke before, and you said it anyway. I'm very disappointed in you. Sorry. I don't know why I got a kink in my neck now. Okay, yeah, I love my tangents that are kind of taking away from the creepy atmosphere of the story. I felt that I was personally in some kind of danger. Perhaps the most chilling thing was the music. It was a song of healing, right straight from the game itself, but it played in reverse. The music would get louder, building up so you could, building up so as if you should expect something to pop out at you. But it never did. That's a very awkwardly phrased sentence right there. And it would loop again to wear on my mental state. Every now and again I would hear the faint laugh of a Happy Mask salesman in the background. Just quiet enough so I wasn't sure I was hearing things, but just loud enough to keep me determined to find him. I looked in all 4 zones of Clocktown, only to find nothing. No one. Textures were missing. West Clocktown had me walking on air. The area itself felt broken, hopelessly broken. As the reverse song of healing repeated for what must have felt like the 50th time, I remember standing in the middle of South Clocktown realizing that I had never felt so alone in a video game before. I walked through the ghost town, and I don't know whether it was a combination of the out-of-place textures in the atmosphere and the haunting melody of the once peaceful and soothing song butchered and distorted, but I was literally on the verge of tears and I had no idea why. I hardly ever cry. Something gripped me here, and this powerful sense of depression that was both foreign and crippling. I tried leaving the I'm reading that sentence right now and this whole section of the story, and I'm syncing it up with stories like Blood Whistle, and I've gone on record multiple times by saying that I think Blood Whistle was made as a thing to take the piss completely, but I'm trying to compare and contrast what works about the narrator in that story, like talking about how much the game filled him with dread compared to this story. And I think what makes this one work and that one not work is that what's happening is, like, the events that are unfolding within the game itself are kind of weird and I guess mundane, but for some reason, and the author is acknowledging that he can't quite articulate it, it's making him feel incredibly uncomfortable to a degree that he himself acknowledges is not normal. And then you have Blood Whistle, where the game is so overt in what's happening in the game itself, where it's so over the top, and it talks about the events unfolding in such graphic detail. And it's very little in its interpretation of what's happening. And so when the narrator talks about being filled with dread and whatnot, it makes you... It doesn't feel like there's a supernatural element. It makes you immediately think, well, someone hacked a ROM and made it all spooky. What are you fucking complaining about? A whistle came down and impaled Mario to the chest, and now he's bleeding out and crying out in pain. And I felt so horrible because that doesn't happen in Mario. I was like, yeah, your friend told you it was a spooky ROM hack. What do you expect? Compare and contrast that to this, where, again, just walking through an empty town with a weird song, a song that's reversed was playing, and for some reason it's something... I don't know if it's instinctual. Like I guess your gut reaction for some reason is telling you that you're in danger, and that's what makes that work. Vince versus Jacob boxing match win. That'll happen when one, I get enough money to fly to out of the country to visit Jacob, and two, when I lose about 100 or so pounds. Because literally all Jacob needs to do is like dance around the ring for about 2 minutes, and I've already like I'll just like go over the rest like I'm done, bro. I can't do this. Like what people said about Butterbean. Sorry, Ben drowned one typo almost. So I'm looking at the chat right now. We're about to enter Dimension. Dimension not only sound and sign, but of mind. Now journey to a wondrous wonderland of imagination. Next stop, the Twilight Zone. Rod Serling is one of my heroes. I want to say that right now. And the Twilight, when it comes to anthology horror shows, the Twilight Zone is not the best one, objectively. I say that, I mean that in earnest. I would argue that the Night Gallery and, in some respects, what was it called? Not the Midnight Hour, The Outer Limits. The Outer Limits. The Outer Limit, the worst episodes of the Twilight Zone and the worst episodes of the Outer Limits. The Outer Limits had better, worse episodes, if that makes sense. There were episodes of the Twilight Zone that made me just roll my eyes. And that is my favorite show, still, though. Like, there's an episode, and I mean this is actually true if no one's... there are people out there not familiar with certain episodes in the series. There was an episode where aliens came down to Earth disguised as bikers from outer, and one of the biker aliens fell in love with a human, and he was conflicted because he was wondering like, oh no, we're gonna genocide the shit out of the human race because they're flawed, but I want to spare this one human. There's no twist, there's no thematic, like, there's no theme there, there's no lesson to be espoused. It's just aliens came down dressed as bikers. That's the whole thing. It's a very bad episode. I think it's a decently acted episode, but it's terrible. Okay, where was I? As I zoned in and ran to... Oh. I tried leaving Clocktown, but every time I attempted to zone out, the screen would fade to black, and I would just zone into another part of Clocktown. I tried to play my ocarina. I wanted to escape, and I did not want to be here. But every time I played the Song of Time or the Song of Soaring, it would only say, your notes echo far, but nothing happens. By this point, it was obvious the game didn't want me to leave. But I had no idea what was keeping me here. I didn't want to go inside any of the buildings, because I feel like I'd be too vulnerable in there to whatever I was terrified of. I don't know why, but I came up with the idea that maybe if I drown myself in the laundry pool, I could spawn somewhere else and leave this place. I zoned in and ran towards the pool, and that's when it happened. Link grabbed his head. The screen flashed for a brief moment to the image of the Happy Mask salesman smiling at me. Not at Link, me, with the Skull Kid scream playing in the background, and the screen... When the screen returned, I was staring at the Link statue playing the song... I was staring at the Link statue from playing the Song of Emptiness. I screamed as the thing just stared back at me with that haunting facial expression. I mean, he's got pretty eyes, so you gotta admit. What was the inspiration of that fucking statue? Didn't someone poke fun and say, oh, like, it was based on Shigeru Miyamoto smiling? Bagel Raggle, don't you correct my mispronunciations. How dare you? Rod Sterling and Rod Serling are brothers. You just didn't know. Fuck you. I am sick and tired of people calling out my bullshit on my stream. I told you, I'm gonna be the next fucking PewDiePie. So you guys better be nice to me, or else, oh, gotta go. I had to be up at 4. Good night, man. I'm sorry I started the stream so late. It was kind of like a last second type thing. I was gonna do this before I went to bed. So let's pour one out for our homie Matty. You know, let's do a few more and then we're gonna take a shot. I zoned in and ran towards the pool. Okay, where is it? As I screamed, the thing just stared back at me with that haunting facial expression. I turned around and ran out back into the clock tower. And to my horror, the fucking statue followed me. And the only way I can compare it to was like the weeping angels from Doctor Who. Every so often, at random intervals, the animation would play and the statue appearing behind me. It was like the thing was chasing me, or I didn't even want to fucking say it, haunting me. At this point, I was on the verge of hysterics, but not once did the thought of turning off the console occur to me, and I don't know why. I was so wrapped up in it. The terror felt so real. I tried to shake the statue, but it would literally appear right behind me every single time. Link started to make weird animations that I'd never seen him make before. He would flail his arms or spasm randomly, and a scream would cut to the happy mask salesman smiling again for a brief moment before I was face to face with that fucking statue again. I ended up running into the Swordmaster's dojo and ran to the back. I don't know why, but in my panic I just wanted some kind of assurance that I was not alone there. To my dismay, I found no one. But as I turned to leave, the statue cornered me and I cut me in the back. I tried attacking it with my swords, but to no avail. Confused and backed into a corner, I just stared at the statue, waiting for it to kill me. Suddenly, the screen flashed again to the Happy Mask salesman, and Link turned to face my screen, standing upright mirroring the statue, looking at me along with his copy, literally staring at me. Whatever was left of the fourth wall was completely shattered, and I ran out of the dojo terrified. Suddenly, the game warped me to an underground tunnel, and the reverse song of healing queued up again as I was given a brief moment of rest before the statue started appearing behind me again, this time aggressively. I could only take a few steps before it was someone behind me again. I hurriedly made my way out of the tunnel and appeared in Southern Clocktown. I ran aimlessly in a sheer panic. Suddenly, a readout screamed, and a screen faded to black as dawn of a new day, and several lines appeared again. The screen faded in again, and I was standing on the clock tower with Skull Kid hovering over me again, silent. I looked up, and the moon was black. The moon was black as the night sky. But the Skull Kid stared at me hauntingly with that fucking mask. A new song was playing. The Stone Tower Temple theme played in reverse. In some sort of desperate attempt, I quit my bow and fired off a shot at Skull Kid. It actually hit him, and it played the animation of him reeling back. I fired again, and on the third arrow, a text box appeared saying, That won't do you any good." And I was picked up off the ground and levitated upwards on my back. And then Link screamed as he burst into flames, instantly killing him. I jumped when this happened. I had never seen this move used by anyone in the game, and Skull Kid himself did not have any moves. As the death screen played, my lifeless body was still burning. Skull Kid laughed, and the screen faded to black, only to have me reappear in the same place. I decided to charge him, but the same thing happened. Link's body was lifted off the ground by some unknown force, and he immediately burst into flames, again killing him. This time, during the death screen, the faint sound of the reverse song of healing could be heard. On my third and final try, I noticed that there was no music playing this time, and that all there was this eerie silence. I remember that original encounter with Skull Kid. You were supposed to use the ocarina to travel back in time, or summon the giants. I attempted to play the Song of Time, but before I could finish the last note, Link's body once again horrifically exploded into flames and died. As the death screen neared its end, it began to chug, as the cartridge began trying to process a lot of something. When the screen came to, it was the same scene as the last 3 times, except Link was lying on the ground in a position I'd never seen in the game before. His head was tilted towards the camera, with Skull Kid floating above him. I couldn't move. I couldn't press any buttons. All I could do was stare at Link's dead body. After around 30 seconds of this, the game simply fades out with the message, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" before kicking you out to the title screen. Upon getting back to the title screen and starting again, I noticed that my save file was no longer there. Instead of Link, it was replaced with "Your Turn." Your Turn had 3 hearts, 1 mask, and no items. Oh, that sucks. All that hard work undone like that, man. I've had that happen in video games. That stinks. This ghost is a douchebag. I selected your I talk all that shit, but I was one of those kids where you ever lent your copy of something to a friend and you said like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do a new game, but I'm not gonna save," and then you end up saving. I did that once, and I've regretted it ever since. Tales from the Gas Station is a really good creepypasta. The Forest Has Eyes. Search and rescue efforts are good ones too. Huh. Alright then. I'm gonna put those on the back burner. I think, was it you that recommended Barbie.avi? I think I didn't want to cover it because of the link, and then here I am covering this. Let's see. I quickly hit the reset button. What was I? I selected Your Turn, and immediately when I did, I was returned to the Clock Tower rooftop scene with my scene of my Link dead and Skull Kid hovering over, with Skull Kid's laughing looping over and over again. I quickly hit the reset button, the game booted up again, and there were no more save files below. There were one more save file below. Your Turn, entitled Ben. Ben's save is right back where it was before I deleted it, at Stone Tower Temple, with Moon almost crashing. And turn off the game at that point. I'm not superstitious, but this is way too fucked up even for me. I haven't played it all day, and I didn't even get any sleep last night. I kept hearing the reverse song of healing music in my head, and just remembering the sense of dread I felt exploring the Clock Town. I drove back to the old man's house today to ask him some questions with a buddy of mine. There was no way I was going alone. But only to find that there was a for sale sign in the front yard, and when I rang his door, no one was home. So now I'm back here writing down the rest of my thoughts and recording what happened. I'm sorry if some of this has grammatical errors and whatnot. I'm running with no sleep here. I'm terrified of this game, even more so now that I relived it a second time, writing all this down. But I feel like there's still more to this than meets the eye, and there's something calling me to investigate this further. I think Ben is something in this equation, but I don't know what. And if I could get a hold of that old man, then I would be able to find some answers. I need another day to recuperate before tackling this game again. It's already taken a toll on my sanity. It's already taken a toll on my sanity, I feel like. But next time I'm going to do this, I'm going to be recording my footage all the way through. The idea to record only came to me towards the end. You'll see the last few minutes of what I saw, including Skull Kid and the elegy statue, but it's on YouTube here. I'm gonna stay in this thread for a little while before you fall asleep to answer any questions you guys might have, or hopefully listen to your theories to help me shed some light onto this, and maybe shed some light into this, or maybe things I should try out. Theories. Wait. Hopefully listen to your ideas or theories to help me shed some light onto this, or maybe things I should try to. That was a weird juxtaposition in terms of phrasing. I think I'm going to play Ben's file tomorrow and see what happens. Maybe I was supposed to do that all along. I don't believe in paranormal shit, but this shit is a little fucked up. I mean, this Ben guy is probably just a really good hacker and programmer. I don't want to think about the alternatives that he isn't. That's, this copy paste. This copy pasta, you could say. It's a creepy copy pasta. You could even say that it's a really spooky tale. I'm hoping that maybe this is some kind of running gag the developers had. And the other people have gotten the gag or hack copies of games like this. This shit really scares me. Okay, everyone, let's watch the spooky story, but before we do, we need a little bit of liquid courage. You see my eyes bugging because I'm so scared. Hold on. One side isn't full. This is one of those shot glasses that is like split in the middle, where you can, like, if you want to mix something with it, pour one side and one on the other, but it can still function all the same as a regular shot glass, where you can pour your favorite beverage in it. Benjamin died of water inhalation. Ooh. Oh, that was tasteless, what I just did. Let's drink some of this too so my kidney doesn't kill itself. Gotta stay hydrated, bros. So, well, you know, in all seriousness, let's watch this video. Let's watch this fucking video, guys. I don't know. I guess we'll watch it. I guess. How do I... Okay, there we go. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me turn this off. Shut up! Shut up, Majora Mask. Wait, can I... How would this look if I do like this? Oh, so that's what he meant by walking on. It's been a long time since I've watched his videos. Bear in mind, guys. I have truly transcended. I have become my final form as a streamer. I'm actually calling my audience guys. That's when you know shit's gone real. Oh no! Hello? So when is the... So when is he, like... Like, when him and... Like, he said at one point, him and the mask itself face the camera. Oh, he's inside. Oh, no! Don't look at it. I'm trying to remember. I remember... I think it was Joe... Oh. Oh, there it is. Okay. I think it was Joe Usable that said that he used Game Genie codes to make this whole video to begin with. The Vince game, I don't know. I fundamentally object to the idea of calling your fandom a name. If that makes sense. Like, I'm talking about like sometimes a fandom like names itself, and I don't have any like major issue with that. I'm talking about content creators that, like, fucking Game Grumps call their fans lovelies, and I can't stand that. Like, I don't know, again, gut reaction. It feels like you unintentionally help foster a cult of personality when you do shit like that. Oh, this is pretty darn smooth. Is it going to be behind him? Like I said, it's been years since I last saw this. What? Oh. The funny thing is, I cover a lot of horror on my channel, but when it comes to interactive horror, like video games and shit like that, I am 700% bitch made. Whoa! It's Barbara Streisand's nose. I can't help but wonder, is this, when it comes to the video itself, did Joe Usable do these videos first and then write a story around it, or was it the other way around? Does anyone know? Shut up, Skull Kid. You suck so bad that you didn't even come back for the later games. No, I was about to say that Dynasty Warriors clone Hyrule Warriors, but no one ever counts Dynasty Warriors as games. You can't call your fandom anything worse than Futara, Avatar, or just name big ship. I object. I don't take ship. I don't like people who ship. Especially when you're a grown-ass man or a grown-ass woman, you should know better. Like, I don't like seeing that behavior in teenagers and children, but at least I get it. There's that they're still learning. You know what I mean? But there are people that are in their 20s that still do that, and I think it's kind of weird. Oh no, my computer crashed. Oh, there it is. So, how did he record this? What time does this game take? What time does the story take place? Did he use a capture card? I'm talking about within the realm of the story itself. Did he the Joe Usable the character use a capture card? Link. Lazy bitch. That's what the terrible fate have you. Well, yeah, I'm watching this shitty video. Fucker. This is pretty chilling, I gotta admit. Oh. Vince boycotts FedEx so he hates shippers. Well, you gotta tackle the... You can't fucking pluck the... You can't take the leaves off the weeds. You gotta pluck it by the roots, you know what I mean? Oh, that's... I love the fucking... I can't... Is there a way to disable recommended videos that pop up, like, near the end? Like... Fucking... I blink, and the next thing I know, fucking... A picture of... Happy Matt Salesman literally getting crucified and burned at the stake. Oh yeah, that was a pretty chilling little thing there. How long have I been streaming? Oh, let's see. An hour. That's oh wow. That's too short. We got to make this at least 10 hours long. That's my standards for streaming. Okay, I think we'll move on to post 3. I think we'll be able to squeeze out a few more posts here before we call it quits. I think now I'm looking at it, I think the longest one was the introductory one. I don't know, because I know that the original pasta does not end with this particular story. It apparently goes on for quite a while, and it kind of branches out into weird, like its own little tangent. But we'll see. I don't know. Like, I'm very much out of the know. The only part of Ben Drowned that I really know of is the kind of popular preconception that people know of when they think about the character, like the Happy Mask Salesman and the statue and the Clever Bot, and that's all it is. Like, I'm also kind of going based on memory, and it's been a long time since I read it. So let's go on to post... Oh shit, let's put the spooky music back on. There we go. Looking at my recommended video, and one of the recommended songs is La Cabanera. I really want to listen to it, but I can't because it's copyright. I'm talking not that one, like the one you're thinking of, the one that Yoel Romero sing. I think I can play that one. Hold on. This is a song that you'll hear when fucking Yoel Romero like beats the man shit out of you. Cabanera. Oh, sorry. Cabanera. Hold on. Hold on. I want to bring up an image. I just want to bring up this image real quick. I'm sorry to bring everything to a grinding halt. We're talking about spooky story, but I need to damn it, I need to share my fucking intrusive hobbies and interests with my fans somehow. Fans. I'm okay. I'm saving this image for. This is gonna be my next stream header. Gonna edit something onto here. Hold on. This spooky image in the background. Hold on. I'm gotta take myself off screen. No, bring that back on here. No, Ben, you can stay here. You can stay here, Ben. You guys can't see me, but I'm vibing right now to this hip, trendy song. Dun, 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 hold on. I'm gonna ruin my own stream just so I can have a stupid joke. But that's the story of my life, isn't it? Okay, where... God, can't you... I wish there was something where it saves certain files to one place. There we go. Hyper-realistic Y'all Romero. That's actually terrifying. Don't you just love YouTube's... Yeah, I don't know what to do about it. Like, I'm sorry. I can't focus now. We'll just play that song again. Can I get a demonic version of the y'all singing that song? That was the last thing you. That was the last thing you see when fucking Y'all Romero blasts you in the fucking face. Dun. Oh my god. Do you like any modern rap by Juice WRLD? No. I think I heard one or two J. Cole. I think I heard one J. Cole song that I like, but I don't think that's indicative of his entire quality. Like, there are certain songs that I enjoy. What I miss, Kenzie, Y'all Romero was Y'all Romero saved us from Ben. Hold on, Ben's back. Oh shit, he wants to be part of this. Hold on. Oh fuck. Show us a move, Ben. I'm a fucking child. I can't help myself. I really can't. This is my serious critique videos, by the way, where I thoroughly analyze stories and really break down what works and what doesn't work. I'm keeping y'all remember. No, y'all, I'm sorry. You gotta go. You gotta go, brother. I can't have you here. This is a serious video, and you're making me smile way too much. I'm not joking. Y'all Romero genuinely is one of my favorite fighters. I think it also does. It doesn't. Mike, I read that as soon as you posted it. Like, me after one rum chata. I hate you people. I said rum chata. It's not that hard. I said it properly when you first heard it, and you misheard it for the rest of my life, and I never heard the end of it, and it pisses me off. What was I saying? Yeah, y'all's one of my favorite. Like, I know a lot of people in my life. Like, it's a generalization again, but I've never met a. It sounds fucked up. I've never met a Cuban that I didn't like. Like, Cuban people, like growing up in the neighborhood I lived in, and like working in retail, were the most friendly and funny people I ever talked to. And Y'all Romero reminds me of those kind of people that I used to ring up and whatnot. Really fun people. Very fun people with a thirst for life. Kenzie, fight me IRL, bitch. Okay, back to the story. Can I just have the... Your punishment is this is gonna be a song on loop from now on. Ben, where are you going? Ben, get back here, you fuck. You can't run for me. You gotta dance for me. If I had some kind of thing where I could just like have Ben dancing constantly, that would be so great. No, we're not gonna do that. Back to the Song of Unhealing. I love that J. Cole's rich and he still has. I love that J. Cole is rich. He still hasn't changed one bit. He still wears the same clothes he wore. When I think about my favorite rappers, modern day, I like Tyler the Creator. I used to like Hopsin stuff. I think Hopsin could be a little bit up his own ass. I think he needs to focus on having fun instead of like trying to always make a message and whatnot. Juice the Rapper, I like him. I don't really keep up a lot with the modern rap scene, to be honest. Like, a lot of the music I listen to nowadays is kind of... I'm talking about music that comes out now. It's kind of like instrumental shit, and, like, I've been on a recent kick of trying to find world music, which is kind of a generalized term. Oh, yeah, I love Earl Sweatshirt. I fucking love Earl Sweatshirt. Yeah, Hopsin's too fucking preachy. The funny thing is, like, Hopsin is marginally more successful than a lot of SoundCloud rappers, but he embodies the kind of bitter spirit that a lot of them do when it comes to diss tracks, talking about like how I'm gonna changing the game and shit like that. It's like, and again, I like, and I don't disagree with a lot of what he says in regards to that, and I do like a fair amount of his songs, and he is talented. But this idea, like, I'm going to change the game, like, are you? Are you really? Like, as small as you are in the fact that you can't beat the music industry's marketing. Like, mainstream music, you can't beat their marketing. You can't. That one dude that made, like, Old Town Road, the only reason that he managed to stay in the cultural zeitgeist for as long as he did, I don't dislike him too. I actually commend him for being able to break into a completely different music genre. But the fact that there were so many people that were against him for no particular reason, like, it made them kind of look bad because it's like, oh, well, that song doesn't sound anything like country. Like, well, what about all the other fucking shitty songs? Well, you let Florida Georgia Line be on the record for years, and then you have a problem with this one dude. Is it because he's black? I don't like playing that card, but it's one of the few times where you can look at the whole kind of thing and like, is it because he's black? Because I legit, like, any reason that people give me, like, well, it's not real country. It's like, well, we don't have real country on the radio now, do we? And like, yeah, but like, it's more of a hip hop song. Again, Florida Georgia Line. So, what do you do then? What do you have to say? So, they had no, I think it was like a genuine breakthrough in like, in country music. I love country music, by the way. But modern country, like, there's a lot of really fucking good country artists out there nowadays. It's just that they're nowhere near the mainstream, because part of the appeal of country music is that it's a genre that appeals to like the disenfranchised, the people who have to claw and work for everything they have, like most people do. It's one of the reasons why people don't like take to brag rappers, is because I can't relate to you. When it comes to brag rappers, you kind of live vicariously through them whenever you're in the mood for it, but you can only do that for so long. And I'm going on a huge tangent once again. We're trying to read the story, so let's bring back the fucking spooky music. I only took 2 shots. I usually do better than this. I think I said it before. I had 4 Mike's Hard Lemonade, and I woke up with the worst fucking hangover. I had 5 shots of tequila, and like I think like 40 to 45% tequila, and I woke up feeling completely fucking fine in the morning. So I don't know how that works. Beer does not agree with me, does, but hard liquor does. Well, not hot. I don't know how hard that, but liquor does. And the rise of self-driving car technology. Well, someday someday will be a country song about a guy whose truck leaves him. That actually sounds kind of depressing. That scene from King of the Hill where he's crying about water being in the exhaust. And looking at the comic, I have never had a car myself, and I'm actually kind of afraid to have a car because I am always paranoid about like accidentally like hurting someone. Even if it's not my fault, I would still blame myself because I'm very nervous about that kind of shit. But I'm looking at the comic section and people saying like, I didn't realize how real this shit was and how real Hank's reaction was until I got a car myself and I broke down crying when it didn't work. And I've seen it myself. My sister, we had some car troubles not too long ago, and seeing their reaction, like that was their baby, and you could tell like that car had a lot of mileage and a lot of stories. Be like me and do what on purpose? Oh, whatever. Okay. Pulse 2, September 8th, 2000. Did I loop the song? Oh, let me just check real quick. Yeah, I did. Okay. I'm going to post what happened and link the video footage, but last night everything got too real for me. I think I'm done messing around with this. I passed out pretty much immediately after making the thread. But last night, that LG Vintage statue, I had a dream about it. I dreamed that it was following me in my dream. Oh, that's not nice, Bagel Raggle. But you're fucking in Twisted Metal. Anyone remember Twisted Metal? Remember how popular Twisted Metal was? And nobody fucking talks about it anymore. What happened to, like, that was one of fucking Sony's biggest properties. Like, that, like, and, you know, Needles Kane, fucking, Sweet Tooth was one of the almost like mascots of the fucking Sony consoles, and all of a sudden just disappeared. It had one pretty good game in 2013 and just gone. It bums me the fuck out. I dreamed that it was following me in my dream. That I would be minding my own business when I feel my neck hair stand up on him. I would turn around and see that thing. That horrible, lifeless statue would be staring with those empty eyes right at me, merely inches away. In my dream, I remember calling it Ben. And never before had I had a dream where I remember so vividly. But the important thing is that I did get some sleep, I suppose. It's kind of weird how Needles King was also like like he was a mascot, but he was such an objectively horrible person, filled like with no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Like it's not even like he's like he's a Deadpool-esque crazy person. He's so silly. No, he was a piece of shit serial killer, and the world would be better off if he was dead. But he was so popular because he looked so cool. Except for that PlayStation Vita game. That PlayStation Vita game kind of changed up his characteristics a little bit, where he's more joking, I guess. Today, putting off playing the game as long as I could, I drove back to the neighborhood to see if the old man came back. As expected, the car was gone, and no one was home. As I was walking back to my car, the man next door, moving the glass, killed the power to his lawnmower and asked me if I was looking for someone. I told him I was looking to talk to the old man that lived there, to which he told me what I already knew. He was moving. Trying a different avenue, I asked if the old man had any family or relatives I could talk to. I discovered that this old man had never been married, nor did he have any children or grandchildren through adoption. Starting to become worried, I asked for one final question. One that I should have asked from the beginning. Who was Ben? The man's expression turned grim. I learned that 4 doors down, about 8 years ago, around April 23, the man informed me that It was the same day as his anniversary. That's how he knew the specific date. There was an incident where a young boy named Ben in the neighborhood, shortly after his parents moved, and despite any further attempt to talk to the man, he wouldn't divulge anything else. I went back and started playing again. I loaded the game and immediately jumped to the title screen when the mask flies by. The sound played, but not with a normal whoosh sound. It was something much more higher pitch. I pressed start, bracing for the worst, but just like 2 nights ago, the files Your Turn and Ben were displayed. Truth be told, I looked at Ben file earlier, and it seemed to fluctuate between playing the owl save or not. I brought up the Ben file, hesitated for a moment, noticing that the stats were not the same as they original were 2 days ago. Oh man, these typos are pissing me off, making me mad. Ben is the guy who drowned. The author didn't read the title of his own story, shaking my head. Lawyers that Needles survived the electric chair and the lethal injection several times, and he murdered everyone in the building when they failed to kill him. Yeah, what's his name? The preacher character. He put the curse on him, which kind of makes me think that he wasn't a very good priest, and there was something up with him. Because I'm fairly certain that in the Bible, curses are black magic, and I think they're pretty much frown upon that shit. So granted, given the priest's backstory, it kind of makes sense that I guess he would be able to do that kind of shit. But I'm just saying, I guess I think you should have read his scripture a little bit more thoroughly. Firemen for the LG event, the statues were summoned immediately and cut to what? Amelia was what? Okay, did I scroll down by accident? I was playing the owl save and whatnot. I brought up the Ben file and hesitated for a moment before noticing the stats were not the same as before. Like I'd already completed the Stone Tower Temple this time. Summoning my courage, I selected it. Immediately, I was thrust into complete chaos. Sure enough, I was outside the Stone Tower Temple, but that's about what I expected. The zone itself wasn't called Stone Tower Temple, rather Stone, and immediately a dialogue box of complete gibberish that I couldn't make out greeted me. Link's body was distorted. His back was cocked violently to the side, where his posture was permanently disfigured. Link's expression was dull, almost monotonous. He had an expression on his face that I didn't recognize before. It was a blank look, as if he was dead. Link stood there, his body spasmed irregularly back and forth, as Link stood there, his body spasmed irregularly back and forth. I examined what became of my avatar and noticed the C button had an item I'd never seen before, some kind of note. I pressed it, but it did nothing. Sounds played back and forth that I didn't recognize from the game, almost demonic in nature, and there was some kind of high-pitched yip or some kind of lab playing something in the background. I had all 2 minutes to take in the environment before another one of those fucking Elegy of Edginess statues was summoned, and immediately I was cut into the dawn of a new day screen, this time without the lines of text, subtext. Ben got scoliosis. Okay, this is a Christian family. This is a very Christian stream, and I will not have you making fun of someone's disabilities. I was a Deku shrub in Clocktown. This would normally play after the first time you travel back in time. Tata will say, "What just happened?" It's as if everything was... But instead of saying started over, she finished her remark with broken text as the laugh of the Happy Man salesman played in the background. I was put back in control of my character, but from a fucked up camera angle. I was looking from behind the door in the clock tower, watching my avatar run around as a Deku shrub. Seeing as how I really had no place to go because I couldn't see anything, I begrudgingly went inside the door. There I was greeted with the Happy Man salesman, who simply told me, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" before the screen whited out. I was in Terminal Field again. I might as well not have been playing the same game anymore. I was being warped around, and there was no sign of the day clock or anything. I took a moment to get my bearings, and I looked around the field immediately. I could tell that this was not normal. There was no enemies, and the twisted version of the Happy Mask Salesman's theme was playing. I decided to run towards the woodfall, before I noticed a gathering of 3 figures on the side. One of them was Epona. As I approached him, to my horror, I saw the Happy Mask Salesman, Skull Kid, and the LG of Emptiness just standing there. Well, it's kind of rude. Ben drowned because he had the drip. His outfit was too swag and he died of the drip. I don't get that. I'm getting old. Because all of a sudden, the drip became a fucking term that people use, and I'm always confused when they use it. God, like, every day, like, I'm becoming that guy. Hold on. I have to play the clip now. Because this clip is synonymous with my feelings. Tell me.
Then I used to be with it. Then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it. And what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you.
So remember, younger viewers in the chat, one day, you'll feel exactly what I feel. Oh god. I'm not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I do sometimes legitimately get fearful when I think about how the generation after me is going to... 2 generations down, when I'm old enough to have grandkids. I don't know if I'll ever have grandkids or even children. But 2 generations down, when I'm, God willing, like as an elder, like, what are those kids going to be like? Given how easy things have gotten for as time goes on, and how technology is like basically kind of making it easier to get coddled. I legitimately worry about them. Like it sounds like, oh, what a fucking boomer-esque rant. I get. I'm a millennial with boomer tendencies, I guess. That's how I feel sometimes, man. The world is in spitting distance of becoming the fucking setting of Demolition Man, where police officers don't know how to handle violent confrontations. I approached them carefully and found the skull. What? Okay. I figured that maybe they were bugged out, but by now I had told myself that I should know better. Nevertheless, I approached them carefully and found that the Skull Kid was playing the same kind of idle animation loop. Same with Epona, and the LG of Emptiness was just doing what it's been doing all along, just staring there eerily. It was the Happy Mask Salesman that scared me the more profoundly than the other 2. He too was idle, wearing that shit-eating grin, but wherever I moved, his head slowly turned and followed me. I had not engaged with any dialogue with him, nor was I in combat with him, yet his head turned to follow my movements. Reminded that my first encounter with the Skull Kid on the clock tower, I pulled out my ocarina, to which the game had played the ding sound when you're supposed to play when you play your ocarina, and tried a song I hadn't played yet, the Happy Mask Salesman's own song, and a song that's been playing on loop since back in day 4, the Song of Healing. I finished playing the song, and as I did, an ear-piercing shriek blasted on my TV, and the sky immediately started flashing. The Happy Man Salesman twisted theme sped up, intensifying the fear in me, and Link exploded into flames and died. The 3 figures stayed lit up during my death screen as they watched my lifeless body burn. I can't describe you how sudden and terrifying the transition from eerie to terror it is. You mean it was? Jacob, this is one of your favorite creepypasta. There's a tent swap in the story. Come on, man. Are you sure it's that good? I don't remember there being many tent swaps in Sonic.exe. Gets the noggin jogging, doesn't it, brother? Maybe, just maybe, your favorite story shit. You're going to have to watch this video if you want to see this firsthand. That same fear that caused me to lose sleep 2 days ago started to grip me again as I was met with the text, "You've been met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" But for the third time, excuse me. There was some kind of meaning behind that. I had little time to ponder as I was immediately given another small cutscene of transforming into Zora. I now found myself in the Great Temple Bay. Hesitant but curious to see what the game had in store for me, I slowly made my way up towards the beach where I found Epona. I wondered why the game had decided to put her there. Was the game implying that she was there to get a drink? Speaking of drinks, we're going to take a break from the espresso one and get some of the sweet tea one. This one's a little stronger. Gingerly. And we're gonna give a toast to the future. We're gonna give a brief toast to the future generations, and we're gonna pray for their health and safety. Yeah, that one's a little tougher. That's 3 shots now. I don't know, like, I know when I'm really buzzed when if I don't know how to explain it, and it kind of feels weird explaining this because I know people who actually drink could probably articulate this better than I could. I know I'm buzzed when moving isn't an issue for me, if that makes sense. Where my body almost feels weightless when I move around, and it feels like I'm just watching myself move. I guess I call it drip because people say you're oozing confidence. Instead, it's you're dripping swag. I don't even know that many people that say dripping with confidence. That sounds like some kind of weird sex pervert thing. Oh no, unless you're Saitama and you're talking about Carnage Kabuto. Yes, I watch One Punch Man. But you know who else watches One Punch Man? Bill Burr. And he's funny. A fair amount of his takes are stupid, but he's funny. I wonder. I do respect Bill Burr, if only because he seems like someone who's genuinely trying to figure shit out. You know what I mean? Like a lot of celebrities and stand-up comedians, they kind of have the air. Like I hate Patton Oswalt, someone who unjustifiably thinks they have all the answers to life, and Bill is someone that genuinely always feels like he's on the same he's in the same boat as us. Like we're trying to figure this shit out one step day at a time, you know. I had a little time to ponder as I immediately given another. Okay, wait. Okay, Epona was at the thing, ready to drink water. Unable to take the mask off, I decided that riding steep wasn't the reason she was placed there. Suddenly, I realized that Epona kept neighing, and the way she was angled made it look like she was trying to signal to point me off to the distance. It was a hunch, but I dove into Great Bay and started swimming. Sure enough, I almost missed it. I found myself in the bottom of the ocean. One last Elegy of Emptiness statue. I went down to examine it, and suddenly my Zora started doing a choking animation. I had never seen a Zora do before, which didn't even make sense since Zoras can breathe underwater. Regardless, my character choked to death and died, and again, the statue was the only thing that highlighted my death. It didn't respawn this time, and I was booted back to the main menu as I restarted the console. The press start screen was before me. I knew the only reason why it would put me here is because the save files had changed again. Taking a deep breath, I pressed start and I was right. The new save files told me about Ben. Now it made sense why the new save files told me about Ben. Now it made sense why the statue appeared when I tried to go into the laundry pool. The game must have anticipated how I tried to escape back in day 4 Clocktown. The two save files told me of his fate. As I suspected, Ben was dead. He had drowned. The game obviously wasn't through with me. It taunts me through the save files. It wants me to keep playing. It wants me to go further, but I'm done with this shit. I'm not touching any more of these files. This was already too horrifying for me, and I didn't even believe in the paranormal, but I'm running out of explanations. Why would someone send me this message? I don't understand it. I just get too depressed thinking about this. The footage is up there for those who want to see it and try to analyze it. Maybe there's some kind of coded messages and gibberish or something symbolic that I went through. I'm too emotionally and mentally drained to give a fuck anymore. So let's look at Ben. Shall we? We're gonna look at Ben, and then we're gonna critique the story, and we're gonna. Well, I think I don't know. Like, how long is the story? I think. Let me see how long it is. Yeah, we're not gonna finish this all in one night. I think. I don't know. My assumption was that it was first one was short enough. So I said I think in like 5 times in less than a second. But Dave Chappelle's the best comedian. Don't at me. I like Dave Chappelle. I love Dave Chappelle, but best comedian. I don't know. My taste is subjective. I'm trying to think of who I think of. I think George Carlin, in regards to his. A lot of people like George Carlin because of his takes on free speech and all this shit. But as a comedian, I don't think people talk about how actually funny he is. So I think in that respect, he's kind of overrated. I love George Carlin, by the way. Don't at me. I'm trying to think of who my favorite stand-up is. Like someone who I watch, Patrice O'Neal. I love Patrice O'Neal to death. Fun fact: Reusable is derived from the words Judas and Abel. I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds cool, and that's all I need. If you don't shut that shit up so we can watch this video, bro. So we're going to watch a spooky video now. I'm not even scared. But didn't they say it was going to be a high-pitched screen? Okay, that wasn't that bad. Can you guys hear the audio for the videos I'm showing? By the way, I forgot to point out, I never played Majora's Mask. I played a little bit of Ocarina of Time. Wind Waker's my favorite 3D Legend of Zelda game. Yes, I know it's Ben. Press the button, Reusable. God. At least Sonic.exe, the game, got to the point, guys. It sucks. Huh. You're not looking so good there, buddy. The sudden, like, camera changes where it, like, goes behind the back and whatnot, that actually does kind of weird me out for some reason. I guess because when you, like, shift the camera that quickly in a thing like this, I expect, like, something to be immediately behind you. I heard it on Night Mind's channel. Uh-oh. Is Night Mind the guy that had that, No, I think it was Mr. No. Night Mind's that guy that had that, that little beef with Slime Beast in his little circle? Where, oh. That's something. It was something like he said something that irked. I think it was God, what was his name? I used to remember his name because we had a back and forth at some point, and like it was like we were not friendly with each other at first. God. It's auto. I think it's ooh. Oh no, this fucker. Yeah, but he was friends with It's someone who's like friends with Slime Beast, like closer friends than. He's someone who's closer to him than I am, and I think of I'm not trying to be an absolute asshole, and like I'm not trying to act like I'm above it. I don't remember their names. So. I never noticed this song before. Look, when I watched this video before, I never noticed the song. Walking up to them slowly. And Skull Kid being an absolute douche and not paying attention. I mean, it's kind of customary for this character. What was his name? I feel like an asshole because I don't remember it now. But it was someone that Slime Beast was friends with, and they had a podcast together. And I think Nightmind did something, or he said something that made that came off as dishonest, and it was dishonest. And I don't know. Go on Slime Beast's channel. I'm butchering. Oh. That one mask on the Happy Mask salesman's backpack is more unsettling than anything in the picture. It's more unsettling than fucking the LG Vendetta statue. Go up. If you haven't subscribed to Slime Beast, by the way, go subscribe to him. I know there's some people that don't care for him because of how abrasive he can be, but he's one of those people that no matter what you think about him in regards to his approach to everything, you can absolutely 100% trust him to be truthful about things. Like I trust him wholeheartedly when it comes to like reporting things going on in the creepypasta community. Like recently he's gotten like shit for his coverage of the Critques and pasta shit. Fuck you, Rago Bago. I didn't. Drama kind of came out of nowhere for me. Like, I just blinked, and all of a sudden, there's this really popular streamer that everyone likes now. Yeah, but people are giving shit about Critques and pasta because Critques and pasta. Look, giving Critques and pasta the benefit of the doubt and assuming that he's being truthful about the whole thing with the DMs and whatnot and the alleged grooming allegations. Now's not the time to lie about certain factors of your story and to weave this narrative when your primary argument for in defense of yourself is that you guys know me, you know I wouldn't do that. You're asking me to trust you. You're asking me to base my assumption of this whole case based purely on the trust I have of you as a person, as a fan. So if you're not being truthful with me when you're asking me to trust you, there's the music there. When you're not being truthful with me, when your only thing that you have going for you is like, oh well, trust me, then what the fuck else do you have? That's one of the reasons why it gets on my fucking nerves. The only issue I have with Slime Beast is in regards to how, and again, I don't think it's a character flaw. I think it's something that I think sometimes gets in the way of his ability to sway people. Is that he can again come off as abrasive when he's brutally, like the term brutal honesty is kind of eye rolling in itself because truth is truth no matter how you slice it. Again, you can trust Slime Beast to tell the truth, but I don't know. I think if he were to give a little bit of sugar with the truth, to help the medicine go down, less people will be, there'll be less people willing to brush them off, because that's the mindset that a lot of the fans of Critques Pasta and a lot of these other people kind of approach this. They come in looking to dismiss you, because they'll look for any reason to dismiss you because they love their boy so much. And I just think that, I don't know, it's a pragmatic thing more than anything else, and it sucks that you have to fucking sugarcoat it like that. But I don't want people to, you don't want people to constantly live with these preconceptions of these people that they're fucking saintly and innocent, when you yourself have the potential to fucking open their eyes and get them to mature just a little bit. That's all I'm saying. And Slimebeast is very good at that. He's very good at dissecting a lot of the shit that goes on in the creepypasta community, and finding holes in the narratives that people weave to try to cover up their bullshit, and doing that shit like that. Like, he does his due diligence, but again, when he decides to be snarky and whatnot. Now, I find that thoroughly entertaining, but again, that doesn't appeal to the people who are already on Critques side, who or any of the people he talks about side, who really don't want the truth to be put out there, or are looking for a reason to not trust what you have to say. And it sucks that we live in a world like that, where people are more willing to trust you if you're being super uber nice to them. Is it like, I use this metaphor, like if someone comes up to you and says 2 + 2 = 4, and another person comes up to you and says 2 + 2 = 4, you fucking idiots. They're both right. Just one is just a little bit more rude about it. But you gotta say, well, I'm not listening to guy number 2, I'm listening to guy number 1. Or even better analogy, that the guy number 1 says 2 + 2 = 5. And the other guy says 2 + 2 = 4, you fucking idiot. To both of the same person. There are a distressing amount of people that will be more willing to listen to guy number 1 just because he said it in a nicer way, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Excuse me. I went on a huge tangent. I apologize. My excuse is that I'm liquored up. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So let's put the music back on. And let's get right back into the story. We got a little bit more. How long is this? We will stop at the 3-hour mark, boys. Why not? There's no such thing as a short stream with me. I have nothing better to do. Post 3, September 10th, 2010. I know it's early in the morning. I stayed up all night. I can't sleep. I don't care if people see this. It's not the point. I just want the word to spread so I don't suffer for nothing. I lost the will to type this. Oh, I talked about. I said I would criticize the last chapter. I am enjoying the story so far, but I think there's a little bit of a narrative shift going on. It started out subtly, and he jumped into kind of hyperbolic language, I guess you could use it, a little bit too soon. I'm someone who believes in the slow burn when it comes to supernatural stories. The character that Joe Usable is portraying himself as in this story is something of a rational skeptic, someone who's taking all this shit with a grain of salt. And I think more time should have been dedicated to him trying to dissect this and really break down why it is he's feeling the way he is, and maybe even being dismissive of it and saying that, look, more dismissive of it, because he is kind of dismissive of how he's feeling thus far. He's acknowledging that his gut reactions to the game itself is rational, but it still kind of comes off as a little rushed, I'd say, where it's oh, well, his voice sounds demonic, and I was panicked because the LG Emptiness statue appeared, and all this creepy shit started happening, and I'm really sweating. I can't stay up. I'm up at night. I think maybe you can make the argument that him immediately, like the barrage of events and the weird kind of otherworldly things happening to him, the him being deprived of sleep from his dreams also could play a factor into why he's now so eager to kind of jump into like these big conclusions. And I think that kind of works, but I just don't think it translates that well. I think the problem is that, again, there's not quite enough time spent him as normal Joe Usable with like all of his mental faculties in check before he's suddenly hit with some otherworldly force that's really fucking with him. You know what I mean? And again, there's always that juxtaposition you need to see, where you want to feel for him because you want to see how hard it hit him and how far he's fallen from where it initially began. At least that's my opinion on again, this is the last chapter. So let's get into the rest of this. I was up in the early morning. I stayed up all night. I want the word to spread. Okay, I'll have the will to type this. The less I dwell on this, the better. I think the video just speaks for itself. I did what you guys told me to do. I played the Elegy of Emptiness song at the first prompt by the game that I was given. But I think that's what the game, or Ben, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm humoring the absurd idea that he exists in this game, wanted me to do. He's following me now, not just in the game. He's in my dreams. I see him all the time, behind my back, just watching me. I haven't gone to any of my classes. I've stayed in my dorm with the windows closed and the blinds shut. That way I know you can't watch me. But he still gets me when I play. When I play, he can still see me. The game is scaring me now. It talked to me for the first time. Not just in the text that's already in the game. It spoke to me. Talked to me. It referenced Ben. It talked to me. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it wants. I never wanted this. I just want my old life back. How long? Let me see. I'm going to check the gaps between the postings. Like, it's only been 2 days, brother. Yeah, it's only been like 2 days, and all of a sudden he's like, again, 2 days of this, like, constant nightmares about this is kind of freaky, but I don't know, like, I think it would have been better to space this out a little bit longer. Stuff like this doesn't happen to people like me. What is that supposed to mean? Is Joe Usable's character really like some kind of weird ethno-nationalist? This doesn't happen to people like me! People like me own people like you! If you guys don't know what I'm referencing, I'm actually happy you don't. I'm just a kid. I'm not even old enough to drink yet. It's not fair. I want to go home. I want to see my parents again. I'm so far away from home here at the school. I just want to hug my mom again. I just want to forget that that statue's horrible blank face. The original game's back. The original game file is back. That's the way I left it before it was gone. I don't want to play anymore. I feel like nothing bad will happen if I don't, but I feel like something bad will happen if I don't, but that's impossible. It's just a video game. Haunted or not, it can't hurt me, right? Like, seriously though, I can't, right? It can't, right? That's what I keep telling myself, but every time I think about it, I'm not so sure. So let's watch Drowned.wmv. Why do I still have this video open? Lisa gone full blood whistle. Yeah, true. No joke. If you see the thumbnail on my video, when I was trying to say, like, the thumbnail was originally different. Like, there was going to be text at the bottom, and Ben was, like, slightly zoomed out. And, like, it was zoomed out to where his torso was showing. And when I was saving the file for original thumbnail, my computer fucking froze, and I had to restart it while it was saving. So, the file was, like, 70% save, and, like, the bottom was cut. And I went in and I made a real quick thumbnail with him. Like, I don't even feel like trying to be creative about this because I need to stream right now. So let's just put Ven's face zoomed in. And I did that, and I had the original file open, the one that wasn't completely saved. So when I went to, it was open and it was like displayed. So when I clicked on the photo tab to close it, the photo app. All of a sudden, like the image is like bent backed up, and then the thumbnail that I made for this video, which is him zoomed in, but it looked like Ben just like jumped ahead and like was looking at me, and it fucked with my head for a minute. It like I was not prepared for that because I saved over that file, so that's why it jumped ahead. So it was showing the file that I made. Oh fuck, hold on. So let's bring this back up. No, not that one. This one. Yes. We're gonna watch another video. We're gonna watch Ben. We're gonna watch Drown's Dot's Weapon of Mass Destruction. I'm not scared the least bit. I'm a little bit. Oh, by the way, I've been thinking about journey. I didn't even read that. Ben's a rude asshole and won't let me read. I've been considering. There was a game I bought a long time ago that I used to. What was it called? Lone Survivor. I've been thinking about doing a stream on that on my channel. So if you guys are interested in that, just stay tuned. Try to give an announcement. I forgot how good the jumps are in this game. One of the things I really like about Majora's Mask in comparison to Ocarina of Time, is how I think Ocarina of Time wanted to impress people with the open world feel, but the consequence of that is that it feels like there's a lot more unnecessary space in regards to the size of the landscape. You don't need a giant sprawling level unless the giant sprawling environment is part of the gameplay. The problem with Ocarina of Time is that it feels like a giant world that kind of feels empty, and there's not a lot to actually explore outside the towns themselves, and a handful of dungeons and whatnot. But Majora's Mask condensed it down and basically cuts all the fat. That is some next level fuckery right there. Oh man, my computer's lagging. Yeah, I remember Link turning into a fucking Deku shrub creeped me the fuck out when I first played it. Well, Skull Kid, wait for me. I'm still here. Tell you can't leave me behind. That's what she sounds like, by the way. Haha, Link over. If I wouldn't deal with you, I wouldn't get separated. Just stay there. Do something. W. Play a song, Link, you fuck. Is that gonna send him back in time? You shouldn't have done that. Okay then. I distinctly remember this part from years ago because it creeped me the fuck out when I first saw this video. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. Yeah, that I will admit right now, because I've been very well, not that I haven't been. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Shut up, Al. I've been very somewhat critical of the story thus far, but the one thing that really does add to it is actually being able to watch the videos, and yeah, it is that it does kind of give that unsettling, uncanny. Excuse me. Watch out. It does kind of give that unsettling, uncanny valley feel, you know, where I can't articulate it, but something feels wrong, and that's always the best kind of horror to me personally, where it touches upon something primal, you know, where something it just feels like, you know, you recognize there's enough to recognize what you're looking at, but you just feel in your gut that's something is amiss, and your brain is struggling to put it together. And yeah, it's a tree. What? It's a tree. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. That was really. I love that. Oh, that's really good. That was a great, like, but you know, manipulating camera angles and working with it. That looked great. Like the moment it zooms in is the moment you miss him approaching you, and you don't see it until he's right in front of him. I love that. I love like Link was doing a Fortnite dance. We don't mention Fortnite in the stream, mister. Not in this lifetime. I may go on the fish stick on a stick stream and regularly mention Fortnite and Link and Ben, okay, and regularly mention Fortnite and Overwatch, but I do that because I'm an asshole and I like upsetting him. Even in his Discord, I'm a mod on Fish Stick on a Stick's Discord, and I go on and say like, "Hey guys, you ever played this awesome game called Overwatch? It has a fucking hamster man. It's really cool." And by the way, you Fish Stick on a Stick, you can thank me for sending subscribers your way. I know you're struggling with your piddling amounts. Post for September 12th, 2010. 2010. Let me just clear things up. I know you guys are worried, but Jew Usable's okay. He finished moving out today. He said he was going back home. He's just taking a semester off. Who dares message me? I'm an important man. He finished moving out today. He said he was going back home. He's just taking a semester off. I'm not really sure what happened. I have a vague idea, but you guys probably know more than I do. I'm Joe Usable's roommate, and obviously I knew something was wrong with him for a few days now. He stayed in his room all the time, fell out of contact with literally all of his friends, and I'm pretty sure he hadn't been eating hardly anything. After a few days, I couldn't stay in there anymore, so I've been crashing at my buddy's place, only coming into my room to get stuff that I needed. I tried talking to him several times, but he would cut me off or keep the conversation brief when I asked him about his strange behavior. It was like he was convinced that something was hunting him. Yesterday, I came to grab my philosophy book and he approached me, looking awful, horrible bags under his eyes. He handed me a flash drive and gave me specific instructions. He told me that he needs me to do one last favor for him. He finally explained to me what was going on. He gave me the account info to a YouTube account, and he told me that he's getting away from here. That it lured him to play the game again. Instead of trying to change things, and that he shouldn't have done that, and to upload the footage to inform people what happened. I told him that he could do it himself, and he got this wild look in his eye and told me that he was never looking at that game again. And that's the last thing he said to me. He never even said bye when his parents came to pick him up. I never even got to meet his parents. You know, it's funny. It kind of feels like this one section here has more of the kind of tone that a lot of the, again, a lot of video game creepypasta that kind of replicate Ben Drown. Like, I hate to use it as a reference, like Sonic.exe with the best friend who seems like manic and like nervous about the game itself. And it feels weird because that story feels like this moment in the story, we've had just enough time spent with Joe Usable to understand why he's such a wreck and the kind of effects that the games have on him. And again, I still feel like it's rushed. But this transition from him to his friend, who's a lot more even-keeled and has no frame of reference as to what happened, it feels appropriate. Like, you compare that to Summon.exe, where that game starts off at this point. We had no introduction to Kyle, no setup as to who he was prior to receiving the game, or how he even got it to begin with, and right away we start off with him making requests of Tom to destroy the game. So, you know, I just think it's a funny little comparison piece there, where again, like, that story starts off where this story right at this section right here. I honestly can't tell you what happened. When he spoke, it was kind of hard to understand him, and his fucked up appearance really distracted me. On a flash drive, there was the footage of the game last night, a text document with his name and a password for YouTube, a third document called the truth.txt containing what he told me were his notes he'd taken. He told me that that this meant everything to him and I should follow the instructions exactly. Normally, I wouldn't be so to the letter for a request over a fucking video game, but the way he spoke and the way he looked at me made me know that this is really serious, and I'm going to honor that. I've had this video for a day. I've had this video since yesterday, and I've had some time to. I've had someone help me use Pinnacle. That's not really my forte. What? And had to have someone help me use Pinnacle. That's not really my forte. Is Pinnacle a program? I really don't know. I love the part where it's a story. June Usable is on his way to Subway to get food, and on the right he sees a statue in a shrub. It reminds me of Tim and the skeleton from A Forest Has Eyes. When this video is or not even, I think we're on the same Discord. Do me a favor and actually link this to link those stories to me on Discord, like at me, because I want to actually read them for myself. I don't know if I'm going to cover them for the channel, but I really want to read them because you've mentioned them enough times for them to pique my curiosity. He told me that this means everything to him, and I follow instructions exactly. Normally I wouldn't be suited to the letter, but after watching it, I had to go back through and look over his other videos in his YouTube account to realize what was going on. And even then, I'm really confused. The video I'm releasing tonight, truth.txt, will be released on September 15, just like he requested. I haven't dared peek at it yet, so this is the first time I will see it. Will be the first time you see it out of respect to my friend. To answer your questions, no, I haven't tried calling him yet. I think I'll give him a call tomorrow to see if he's okay or not. He should have gone back tomorrow. About the video. In this video, I cut straight to when he loaded the Ben file. And looking back, I realized that Usable left the save file on the screen because it had different names sometimes, so my bad for that. But it all said the same. It all said this time. What? All it said this time was the same at the end of the last video, Lincoln Ben. Nothing different. I wasn't there when he played it, but it looks like in the beginning, when he first spawns, he's testing out the equipment to see what items he has or something. Apparently, they've changed randomly before. Then after that, I just think the game got too personal for him. So let's watch JoeUsable.wumf. JoeUsable.wakongabunga. They are, but they're super long. Well, even if I choose not to read it for the channel, I still want to actually like read it for for my own personal pleasure, I guess. I do still like reading creepypasta. It's really I'm very much distant myself from the community, but yeah, I still enjoy reading horror in general. So you wouldn't know it by how harsh I can be sometimes. I don't know, like some of the stories they cover is just because we do have a frame of reference on how, like, it's not like horror is a new concept. You know what I mean? Creepypasta, it has become something like a little bit bloated with a lot of like stories that get kind of weird acclaim for no reason other than people's standards are obscenely low. And I don't know why they're so low because, again, we have plenty of stories to work. You saw that, right? Oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I love how Joe Usable didn't acknowledge it, or the when he was recording. Oh, damn it! Hold on. I just realized the fucking song's still playing. I love how he didn't pay any attention to it. Like, he just let it play naturally. Like, I'm talking about, like, Ben was like in the cliffs, and he didn't like say anything about it, or he didn't draw immediate attention to it. It's just like this creepy little background detail. Like he's actually being watched, like the story alludes to. Ooh, oh no, undeads. I'll say it right here. Undeads are infinitely more creepy in Wind Waker. Because they got that fucking giant jowls, you know? Oh, good. This is some normal gameplay footage. I guess everything's all hunky-dory now. Nothing scary is going to happen here. Go, man. God, my lips are dry. So, Chad, what's your favorite Legend of Zelda game? Like I said, no. Like I said, mine is Wind Waker. My sister has a Nintendo Switch. Well, I think the Switch. What do you call the one that isn't like the one that doesn't have the contextual controls? There's a name for it. I forgot. But they only have Animal Crossing. I'd really like to play Breath of the Wild. It looks really fun. I think I'm in a minority too. I don't like the original Legend of Zelda as much as everyone else does. I think because my introductions, my introduction to Legend of Zelda, like 8-bit Legend of Zelda, was the Oracle of Seasons game. Well, Oracle Season or Oracle of Ages. And one gameplay aspect that has over like the original one was the swing animation that did a better, like, it had a large... Ooh. The swing animation was broad enough to where it covered more field, and so you didn't have to be exactly precise, because the original one, which is a stabbing motion, it's like one little thing, and it makes it kind of frustrating. I'm not used to it, is what I'm saying. I don't remember any, like, the weird thing about A Link Between Worlds is that I remember getting that critical acclaim when it came out, and No one talks about it anymore, and that's weird. Uh-oh. Well, I guess it... Oh. Well, to be fair, I guess it's been overshadowed by Breath of the Wild. Is that supposed to look like that? I don't think that's supposed to look like that. Is that supposed to... Is that supposed... Why is he smiling? The father? Is that supposed to hint that maybe... That fucking Ben turned into that? And killed him? Melody... Let me read, damn it. Death Battle's new Link versus Cloud animation was fire. I'm not a fan of Death Battle, to be honest. I don't know, like I don't take it all that seriously. I know people kind of. I'm willing to wager that a fair amount of people just watch it because they just like to see the fights. But when they try to scientifically break down, like Superman versus Goku, like you can't. I don't think you can compare the two because their strength is quantified differently in their respective series in such a way that they're not really comparable to each other. Like a Dragon Ball Z Vegeta... Ooh. Oh, the LG Avengers statue was behind the gravestone. That's cool. It'll be our little secret, okay? Like... Because in the original Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta can blow up a planet when he's far weaker than a being like Beerus, but at the same time, Beerus blowing up planets is supposed to be like extravagant, and like a show of his power. Although him being able to reduce it to dust, I think is more like reduce it to dust with just a poke of his finger. I think is more impressive. You can't run. Well, I'm overweight, so I'm overweight, so you're objectively correct. I literally can't run. Sometimes I have to live with the fact that Bob Sapp has better cardio than me. Please help me. Okay, is that little thing gonna come up and like be annoyingly intrusive? There it is. Every time! It's the happy... Link, Matt. Matt Dixon of Bad Creepypasta? You know, it's really fucking original. I always had a gut feeling that something was wrong with that guy. But to think he was such a cloud tracer that he fucking changed his name so he could, like, ape off of Joe Usable's character's titular, like, his fame. It's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Matt Dixon, I'm calling you out. It's about time. This is the Matt Exposed stream now. Okay, we're going to close that. And bring the spooky music back up. As someone loves the versus debate, sometimes I just skip the fights and just listen to the explanation. Yeah. Again, it's strokes for folks. I don't want to try to shit talk you for enjoying something that I don't really get a lot of, unless you're a fan of MatPat, in which case, unsubscribe to me right now. I do not like MatPat. I don't know if it might dislike. Well, him handing the fucking Pope a copy of Undertale make me dislike him immediately, but I think it's less that I dislike MatPat and more that I dislike the kind of weird mindset that he kind of unintentionally cultivates with his like stupid theory videos. Like that's the kind of shit that got Benny and the Ink Machine so many people like thinking that it was some kind of like masterpiece of writing where they had all these themes and all this shit that was like hinted at the very beginning, where the fucking writer of that goddamn of that goddamn series admitted openly that he was writing by the seat of his pants. Although you can attribute that to Matt Pat, and as much as I do like him and respect him, Scott Cawthon with his Five Nights at Freddy's games. Because Scott didn't help with that shit where like, oh, well, what does this mean? Like, oh, is this a hint to another game? Or is this a reference to another game? And again, Scott likes that, and I have a lot of respect for Scott. He's like the nicest person in the world, and he does like really good charity work. But I just don't like a fair amount of his games. Oh, what was it? I actually like Desolate Hope, and I'm very upset that a fair amount of people don't know about Desolate Hope. That was one of the first fucking games he played, and it actually shows how creative he is as a writer, because that is such a weird, high concept sci-fi type game that I'm talking about the story itself, not necessarily in the gameplay, where I have nothing but like admiration for him for having developed a weird game like that. You play as like a sentient coffee pot trying to awaken these like ancient computers. It's a very bizarre game, and I love it. Love is a strong word. I really like it, and I wish he would make more games outside of Five Nights at Freddy's that had those weird kind of concepts that aren't bogged down by this established world he had to set up. This video, which characters will survive a coronavirus or pandemic, was what? What? Which characters will survive the coronavirus right as the pandemic was coming? Who? Who? Are you talking about Matt Pat or Death Battle? You can't be serious. Like, hold on. I actually refuse to believe that. I don't think you're lying. I'm sorry, but I have such a low opinion of Matt Pat. But at the same time, I can't help but think that that can't be true. Hold on. Oh my god. Shut the fuck up. Oh my. Oh, like, I don't have the fear of coronavirus that everyone else does. And I think a lot of the information, a fair amount of the information, I think a fair amount of it is what's the term? Yeah, hyperbolicism, hysteria. I don't know. I'm kind of buzzed. I think a fair amount of it is a bit of a hysteria. That said, you again, get vaccinated, fucking like follow the guidelines, and whatnot, but stay safe. Exercise common sense. But that was back when we didn't understand the full. That was back when we were like, when people were really, extremely worried about its effects and didn't understand how bad or how mundane the effects were. I'm talking about, like, we had no frame of reference on that. Like, there was a lot of people that were scared shitless of it. Like, much more so than they are now. And his big brain idea was to fucking make a video like that during that climate where people were like losing their shits. That I have to give you kudos. Who brought that up? Bagel Regal. It takes talent. It takes a special kind of talent. Like, I had zero respect for him. I had exactly zero respect for him, and you actually managed to make me lose more respect for him. That's amazing. God, fuck that guy, man. Again, like, I think you can, like, again, it's not even something like, oh, you can't joke about it. Like, I don't mind people joking about shit. Like, I don't mind anyone joking about anything. I know it's a time or place, but I don't think anything's off the table when it comes to comedy. But again, still time and place, and during that kind of the wave of hysteria that people were doing, like all this worry and shit. Like maybe his mentality was that, oh well, maybe I can make people feel better by like making light of it in a kind of satirical video. I don't know, man. At that point, you're just one step. Hold on. At that point, you're just like one step away from making the day that the clown cried, man. Oh, this will net me a lot of positive press. Here's to Matt Pat. I hope he fucking chokes on a cotton swab. Okay. Hey, let me... Again, I don't want to wake up with a fucking hangover. Gotta stay hydrated, kids. I say kids, I don't even know how old my demographic is. I did air quotes because I don't know how... There's 13 people. I'm happy you're here. But I always hesitate to say my audience because you play a venue, you have 12 people. That's not an audience, it's a gathering. I always wonder the age demographic of my gathering, if that makes sense. Now, when you say it like that, it sounds like a fucking cult. Hey guys, Joe Usable here. This will be the last time you'll be hearing from me. And this is my final gift to you. These are the notes that I have taken and the realizations I've made. Before I delve into this, I just want to say thank you for following me and thank you for listening. It feels like a weight of a powerful burden is about to be lifted. By the time you read this, I won't be around anymore. But after spending 4 days with this maddening game, I've begun to understand what was really at play, and hopefully, after reading this, we can ensure that this never happens again. There are things that I could not share with you for a while. This is going to be due to... But there are things that I could not share with you for a while. This is going to be due... For a while, this is going on... Oh, sorry. There are things I could not share with you while this is going on due to circumstances, to which I'll explain. Ben blocking any attempt I made to try and relay the truth to you. I tried, ever so subtly, to warn you about the various ways. Amidst the chaos and my delirium, I devised to make a barely noticeable pattern in my videos. And all 5 videos are recorded over 4 days. I have either had the Mask of Truth, interacted with the Gossip Stone, or Lens of Truth equipped at some point. For you Zelda enthusiasts, all these are symbols of honesty and trustworthiness, and I would hope that one of you will be able to pick up on the reference. My dude, that's even more of a stretch than fucking Chris Chan, where like, you know, I'm being like Chris Chan when he was like being extorted to say that he was a homosexual on one of his videos, and like he was holding a Optimus Prime toy while he did it to subtly show his masculinity. Like it was a symbol of his masculinity and the fact that he was really straight. Like that's the kind of weird shit. I don't know. I would have never picked up on that, dude. I'm glad I'm not the only one that picked up on it. Optimus Prime proves that you are true and honest. Also, while I played this game, I was wearing my high school ring and my Sonichu medallion, so that shows that, you dang dirty troll, that I was true and honest. As I played the file, which I would name Ben, being mindful of how Ben was watching over my every move in the game, I made a point to avoid doing anything too obvious, but I sent out a hidden message to you guys. I never equipped the lens or the mask or visited the stone. The word. When the video was uploaded, I prayed that someone would notice the pattern, that the pattern didn't apply to Ben. The tags follow suit too. I hope you guys paid attention to those well. They were my little messages to you. Nothing big enough that would catch Ben's attention or make him suspect anything. With Ben manipulating and changing files, I honestly hope that what you guys saw was close to what actually happened, but there's no way for me to know now. This may be a long read. I don't have time to proofread or make all of my research pretty, but here it is. September 6, 2020. 2010. I don't want to even jokingly think about Blue Spike. Fuck that, dude. I know that was years ago, but I can't get over, like... I don't know, like, I can't imagine him growing up to be a decent human being after the clear signs of, psychosis that he exhibited on that one particular video. He came off as unhinged, and again, it's one of those things where I wonder if I don't know, if he's a kid that got bullied to hell, or like had a really shitty home life, and being in a position where he could extort and make demands of someone older than him made him feel really big, and that's why he acted like a fucking lunatic. That's my assumption, because if that's not the case, and again, it's not excusable what he did, period, but at least I can understand the frame of mind he was coming from if that was the case. Say what you want about Chris Chan. One thing is I kind of, in a weird way, you kind of have to respect about him. Not respect, but admire, be in awe of, is he has some really horrendous shit. If one, when it comes to Chris's most embarrassing incidents, the Blue Spike incident in particular, if that happened to you or me, that would fuck you up to the point where you would shut yourself off, you would close all the blinds, you would not want to all that shit. It will destroy you socially. Now, again, it did have some long-term effects on Chris in the long run, but he bounced right back up, and when he brings it up, it's oh yeah, some little brat blackmailed me or something. He tried his best to get past that, and that's almost respectable. It's weird. Respectable and Chris don't go hand in hand, but that was kind of. I give Christine now. I give Christine kudos. I don't know. I'm talking about Chris retroactively at the time, so Despite the fear, I can't help but be exceptionally curious about this. Who or what is the statue? A lot of questions here. I'm starting to think this document I'm starting this document as a diary, so I can keep track of everything. I'm typing up the summary of what happened so I can come back later. September 7, 2010. 2:10 a.m. Summary is posted here, so you can go back and look at my first post for day 4.wmv for that. 4:23 a.m. I can't sleep. I'm trying so hard, but the harder I try, the more restless I get. I just feel like the statue is appearing whenever I close my eyes. 8:20 a.m. I didn't sleep at all. Just going to start my day. I didn't think I have the energy to go to class today. I'm gonna go drive back to town and talk to that old man. My buddy Tyler's coming with me just in case. 1:18 p.m. Back home now. No sign of the old man. Really weird that he appears to be moving the next day, but maybe the for sale sign was up there yesterday. I just didn't notice it. Tyler wants to know what's got me so worked up, but I didn't tell him. Gonna go eat, feel like death. Bluesback has apologized several times, and he acknowledged how messed up he was and insanely ashamed of what he did back then. He was a dumb kid at the time. Well, yeah, okay. At least he knows. He was 13. Dumb kid. 13, yeah. I don't know. No, yeah, 13's a kid. Never mind. I don't know. I'm kind of weird when it comes to that. I still consider 18 being barely... Like, you're an adult in the eyes of the state, but as far as I'm concerned, you're still a kid. You're not an adult until you're old enough to legally ruin your own life by your own choice. Three 3:46 p.m. I could have sworn driving back home from somewhere that I saw the elegy statue buried in the shrubbery staring at me go by. Now I definitely need sleep. Oh, is that scene you talked about? Apostrophe. 5 p.m. I don't think a lot of people would believe me if I told them what was happening. I'm gonna go try to post this on the internet. I think I'll just use a summary. The notes are pretty sporadic. I don't know why I read that as sophomoric. Like he's insulting his own writing. 6 p.m. I connected my capture card to my computer to upload the footage. Thought my computer froze for a second. Made this strange popping sound when I hooked everything up. But it seems to be working just fine again. My computer can't die on me now. I don't know, fucking computers can die on you when you're trying to fucking upload a goddamn fucking thumbnail. I'll never get over that. 7 p.m. Footage just finished uploading. The quality's better than I thought it would be. Gee, because it's a really strange, it's a really special cartridge. I never had it come through this clear before. 8:45 p.m. I thought I saw a icon pop up on my desktop and that looked like the statue's face for a split second. Gave me quite a scare. Getting really unnerved and delirious. I'm gonna crash after this. 9 p.m. Began uploading my YouTube video on an alternate account. I don't remember having uploaded a Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines video last year. It was probably the account I showed my friend last summer. Hope he doesn't mind me using to upload this. 9:55 p.m. Posted my summary of day 4 while a link to the YouTube video. I'm gonna try to stay awake, but I'm so tired right now. September 8, 2010. 10:48 p.m. I had a dream about the statue. I dreamed it was following me in my dream. What the fuck? Okay, I think this is like talking about what we already read. 11:21 a.m. I don't really want to play this game again. I think I'm gonna go back to see if that old man's dead again. 1:35 p.m. No old man, but I had an interesting conversation with his neighbor. I'll post a full thing on my summary of today's attempt at playing the game. I'm gonna wait for a bit though to see if I can dig up more information on this Ben guy. 2:45 p.m. I've been getting random inexplicable headaches due to lack of sleep and hearing that song in my head. Also, it's flu season, so I need to be careful not to get sick. My immune system is going to be shit right now because of the all-nighter. 3 o'clock. My computer just, on its own, opened up a text document and wrote the words hi and cleverbot.com by itself. What the fuck? 3:46 p.m. I went to the website. It's one of those bot chatting programs. I think it's best if I let the conversation speak for itself. Hello? Hello? Who are you and how were you able to control my computer? Who am I? Right, forgot, you're a bot. Do you really think that? Listen, I know whoever's fucking with my computer can see my screen right now. Yes. Yeah, I'll wager you're one of those IT kids who think he's tough shit. I know what you're doing. You know what you're doing right now is illegal, right? Is it? No shit, are you familiar with the terms invasion of privacy? Get the fuck off my computer, kid. I am your computer. Cool story. Anyway, I'm calling DPS. You picked a bad time to fuck with me, kid. Should I wait for you to play the game then? What? I'm getting pedantic. I'm getting pedantic right now. I don't like that there's ellipses there. Like, I don't know. Like, anytime, like, ellipses in a story, like, you gotta be very particular about that because it kind of feels like it's like if sometimes I feel like the laugh track of horror fiction, you know, novelization, where it feels like that's your cue to understand that something frightening's happening. I don't know, I'm getting again. That's a really anal point about that. Okay. Joe Usable Roommate should have used the sponsor NordVPN to protect himself from evil viruses and virtual algae statues with a military-grade VPN. Recently, JonTron advertised Raid Shadow Legends. It really bewildered me. And, like, I don't, like, begrudge anyone still advertising that shit. I wouldn't do it. But my confusion with that is basically that you can, I don't know, at least advertise Ray-Bans, brother. Like Ray-Cons. And, like, that's something that people can actually use. Even if it's overpriced. That game. Majora's Mask? Yes. How did you know about that? Because what? I did it. Did what? I played with you. What the fuck? Are you scared? Who the fuck is this? Ben. The statue? Are you inside my computer now? Yes. How? You connected me. How the hell did I connect you? Cables and cords. How? Tell me about yourself. What? Tell me about yourself. What do you mean? What is it that really scares you? What is it that really scares you? What the fuck? Answer. No. Answer. What the fuck? How the fuck did you just open that by yourself? I am your computer now. How much can you control? All. What do you want from me? To entertain. You're stuck inside there. You can't hurt me. Go play. No, you can't hurt me. Took you longer to type that. So? You're not sure. If you're so powerful, why use a ridiculous website like this to chat with me? Less messy. More structured. Fun. Fun? Yes. Tradition. I like it. You think this is funny? Amusing. And my notes? You may write them down. Why are you letting me? It's amusing to see what you think of me. Window closes. 3:50 p.m. What have I done? I've invited it into my computer. I continue to write these notes, write my summaries. I feel like a prisoner. I feel like a prisoner in one place, in my one place of security. I don't know. I don't know if I'm hallucinating or not. I feel like I'm fucking insane right now. I can feel it watching over me, even as I type this. Ben is controlling everything in the game, toying with me, leading me like a sheep. But for what? What's the purpose? I know Ben drowned, but why these hauntings? What the fuck am I doing? You can probably see this right now. Why is Ben's voice actually creepy? Oh, thank you. My delete systems 32. I actually had what was it called? I still had the laptop. I never threw it away. I had a laptop that it was a gift from my older brother, and it served me well. I love that laptop to death, but something happened where, like, it wasn't antivirus. It was like some kind of like defrag software that I had, and it actually deleted my fucking System32 by accident. I'll never forget that as long as I live. That destroyed one of my favorite, like, pieces of hardware. I don't remember what kind of laptop it was, but I had it for so long, and I was so broken up when it broke. Ben called... Sorry. Summary of Ben.w playthrough. Ben called me to Cleverbot again. He told me he's sorry and he wants to be free, and that I can free him, just like how he got my computer with a capture card. He can spread out and he needs my help. He said I'm special because I can help him. That is the first nice thing he said. He promises to leave me alone if I do it. He swears he will. I don't know what to think right now. How can I even trust this thing? 7:20 p.m. Vince should actually do dramatic readings. Your voice is kind of getting creepy as I read it. I stutter over myself way too fucking much. I've thought about it. I try to, but I need to just look up how other narrators actually prepare, because my idea of doing it is just doing it in one straight shoot. But I know that's probably not how it's done. I'm willing to wager that multiple takes are done. And every time, well, if I don't get a take right the first time, my mind immediately beats itself. Like, oh, well, man, you suck. You can't even do it right in one take. And I just give up. Like, do you have any idea how many recordings I've done that I haven't released because I was so upset that I kept stuttering over myself? That happens a lot. I don't want to fucking be like, oh, woe is me. I need to work a little bit on my self-esteem. Ben called me to Cleverbot again. He tells me he's okay. I'm just terrified of it. But now it's saying that it was just having fun. It's twisted and fucked up version of fun. He's saying that the game is over. I do want it to be over. He says he just wants to be free, that he's trapped in the cartridge in my computer, and he just wants to be free. I don't want to have to deal with this shit. I don't want to know how long I'll have to deal with... Excuse me. I don't know how long I can deal with it watching. It's watching my every move right now, every keystroke. I have nothing private anymore. It knows everything that's been on my computer. It tells that if it wanted, it could do horrible things to me. But it hasn't, so I should trust it. 8:01 p.m. Something tells me that I'm being played again, just like in the game. 9:29 p.m. Ben called me to Cleverbot again. I ignored it and went to take a shower. When I came to my laptop, I was welcomed by the image of the elegy statue just staring at me with those dead eyes. I don't want to talk to him. 9:44 p.m. Fuck you, Ben, I'm not talking to you. 9:56 p.m. Fuck you, Ben, I'm not talking to you. 10:06 p.m. Fuck you, Ben, I'm not talking to you. 10:12 p.m. Fuck you, Ben, I'm not talking to you. 10:45 p.m. It's been more than half an hour, and the message has stopped. Ben has stopped. I'm beginning to think that Ben isn't just confined to my computer or cartridge. I'm beginning to feel something. It's hard to explain it. I've never been spiritual, but there's something different about the air in my dorm room now. Because other creepypasta narrators aren't acting when they're being creepy. Oh, shots fired. Take that, Brit Pasta. You uploaded 2 or 3 videos and then you disappeared. Man. Jacob Sherwood blew the fuck out of Brick Pasta so hard that they never came back. I wonder who those assholes were. This is another moment from the from years ago where I remember it distinctly. You know, him raging against Ben. And again, it's one of those things where I think the story's taken a turn, and I'm kind of glad it has, where the horror now is related less to the game and more towards this guy and how his life and mind is unraveling from this weird otherworldly force, and it's a turn that actually is to the story's benefit. 'Cause I love the footage that Joe Usable uses for the story, but you can only use that for so long before, again, that subconscious little nagging feeling that you have, that layer of cynicism that you have, where it's like it's just a video game, kind of seeps in, even though the narrative of this particular story is constructed around the otherworldly force itself rather than the game acting unnaturally. Again, the whole Ben said he could hurt me, but hasn't done anything yet. It goes back to the whole subway thing. Ben is making Joe Usable and the Regents think that he has any physical agency. Are you talking about Ben as the entity? Like he himself has agency, or are you talking about he's basically lulling you into a false sense of security so he can get what he wants out of you, but he's like if you won't help him, he's going to fuck with you and take it by force. Is that what you're alluding to? Oh yeah. Compare and contrast this to fucking Sonic.exe with the Sonic plush. Do you remember in fucking round 2 where it's because Jason the Hyena felt the need to try to fill in the blanks of his shitty fucking... Because he felt the need to fill in the blanks that he left with the last story, he honestly said that this otherworldly creature, this hideous eldritch being that for some reason or other is a huge fucking Sonic fan, decided that to spy on people, he would send a plushie to watch them. I can't get over that. Like, that is remarkably stupid. Like, even if you can get past him feeling the need to send a plushie, which you shouldn't, but even if you were suffering from a brain hemorrhage and were able to actually look past that fact, you also look at the fact that he's an otherworldly eldritch entity that is apparently omnipotent and can apparently send things through the fucking video screen like teleport shit and whatnot, and like give people nightmares. But for some reason, his main means of actually watching people is to send an inanimate object to watch them. And what do you do if they look at the plushie and throw it away? What do you do then? Or is that... I had a random thought. This is a creepypasta theory time. What was JC the Hyena when he wrote that thinking of Tails Doll? Like, was he trying to subtly incorporate Tails Doll into the lore of his story by saying that she sends plushies out to watch people, and Tails Dolls is one of his plushies that he sends out to watch people? I shouldn't assume this because it would actually be is not clever, but it would be in spitting distance of cleverness. And JC the Hyena is not someone who exercises anything resembling good creative practices. I like that it implies he kept the plushie before X killed him. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking about. JC was trying to explain why he had the unrated Sonic plushies, allegedly. He needs to explain why his fucking Shadow the Hedgehog plushie has a fucking glory hole drilled in his butt. I I will pay you money. And I would actually be willing to bet money that he actually does have... He has some plushie with a glory hole. I will bet money on that. And I bet he will not shy away from admitting it, too. Oh, where was I? I'm beginning to see the elegy statue randomly as I search on the internet in places I shouldn't. Places where he shouldn't be. I'd be scrolling down, suddenly staring at a picture of the elegy statue. Always the elegy statue. I don't know how much more of this I can take. September 9th, 2010. 12:35 p.m. My worst fears confirmed. Ben has tampered with my summary of ben.wmv. I looked at the summary where I posted various forms for ben.wmv, and the parts have been omitted. There's no mention of Ben existing outside the game. There's no mention of the Moon Children. Why? How could he have been so quick to delete that post without me seeing anything? I'm wondering if maybe it appeared to me that I was posting everything, but in reality it was Ben posting his own censored version. I'm gonna go ask Ben why he did it. 12:50 a.m. Ben isn't responding to me on Cleverbot. He's just giving me generic responses like it usually does. I think I'm just talking to the bot this time. 1:24 a.m. I think Ben is mad at me. That right there, that one sentence right there is surprisingly chilling. Like, after everything he's been going through, and especially after the precedent that was set up prior to that one line, where Ben seems to be very candid about what he wants and seems to be very open to communication. All of a sudden he's not talking, and then he's like, you get that feeling where when he's typing that sentence, the character's heart was like dropped, and he feels like a chill down his spine. Where like, oh fuck, I think he's actually mad at me. Oh no. I love that line. The Moon Children appeared in my dreams last night. The lizard of their masks revealed their hideously disfigured faces, maggots crawling out of their orifices, sunken black holes where their eyes should be. A yellow smile that slowly grew bigger and bigger as they came towards me. They told me that they wanted to play. I tried to run from them, but the 4 children pinned me down to the ground with surprising strength. Over them stood the happy mask salesman, announcing that he had a new mask that he wanted me to try. In his spastic, sudden movements matching his in-game appearance, he took a mask model off of someone's face that I couldn't recognize, a younger-looking face, and handed it to the Moon Children. They latched it to my face, their horrible broken bodies bouncing up and down. 2 of them held me down while the other 2 began to sew the mask onto my face. For some reason, I want to say randomly, I don't know, like for some reason, it's the Moon Children from Majora's Mask, but for some reason I'm thinking of those weird force spirit things from Wind Waker with the leaf masks. I don't know why. And that's scarier to me for some reason than the children from Majora's Mask, because they already don't look, they kind of look weird. My screams and shrieks caused the happy mask salesman's face to turn to the most horrific smile I'd ever seen. He sporadically moved around, examining his... That says procedure. I read it as pedicure. he sporadically moved around, examining his pedicure. It was impossible. In that impossible movement, I flailed around, but it was no use. My eyes rolled to the back of my head because of the pain. It felt so real, but I couldn't wake up. I couldn't wake up no matter how hard I tried. I couldn't wake up. After the mask was melted to my flesh, they began to slowly sewing my nails together. Then my arms, the horrific feeling of the needle puncturing your legs and pulling them in, rupturing your Achilles tendons while tying them together, resonating throughout my entire body. I tried to scream, but the mask was pressed so tightly against my face. Against my face that it was my new face. And my face had no mouth. I will block anyone who makes a reference in the chat. I love that story. I love the game that spawned from it, and I love the man who wrote it. But that reference needs to end. I didn't make a sound. I tried telling myself in my head that I was dreaming. I tried telling myself over and over again and again. And suddenly the moon children stopped and looked at me. They just stared. And the happy mess salesman slowly bent down and stared at me, inches away from my face, and grinned and simply said, "You've met a terrible fate, haven't you?" Before the moon children increased with renewed vigor. I couldn't wake up. It wouldn't let me wake up until they had crafted me into another algae statue. I woke up sweating, crying, and shaking uncontrollably. I ran to my computer and went for Ben. I don't know. That was kind of. Because I like what I've liked so far about the story is the kind of It's a very again like aside from the first two chapters, where the sudden push towards the sudden change in his mindset and his explanations for a lot of what was happening, I think was a little bit rushed. But besides that, overall, I think the tone has been very slow and lingering, and has been gradually building a sense of dread. And I understand that this is just another aspect of what Ben is doing to kind of I guess to punish him for not immediately acquiescing to his demands. Like, he's gonna fuck with him physically and mentally in such a way where, and part of it is like sending him these horrifying nightmares. I'm sorry, I'm just like looking for what kind of. This is a really it's over there. It's a blanket I really like. I just feel like that was such a, it was so blunt and kind of over the top, where turning him into a literal I think it's the fact, like, the over the top descriptions of the gore, and like they had yellow teeth and whatnot. I think if it were just keeping with the tone where the dipping into that uncanny valley feel, where he's just dreaming of the normal the children from the game, like slowly, but like, and meticulously, like working on his body while he can't move, like almost like one of those night terrors that you have, like you know, the sleep paralysis demons, where they're going by his bed and they're completely ignoring him as he's crying out, while the happy mask salesman is like watching like the procedure with a smile, that stupid smile on his face, and they're sewing his limbs together. They're not acknowledging him at all, and like you can still have the descriptions of him, like the needle like puncturing into his body and pulling it and like slowly bringing it together. And I think that like the general feel should be unsettling instead of like over the top horror. I think that works the best. And I'm not gonna act like I could do any better than Joe Usable. He's miles ahead of me when it comes to artistic talents, when it comes to writing. But I think a slower, more methodical pace when it comes to that dream sequence would have better fit the tone that he tried to go with that scene, or the overall tone he's gone with thus far. The strongest point, as I said before, with the story thus far has been his interactions with Ben, like as an entity, and Ben just kind of bleeding into his everyday life slowly. Like, that's the kind of shit I like about the story. Okay, sorry. 9-9-10 conversation 1. Answer me, Ben. Welcome back. What is the point of doing this? Why? Amusing to see. How? Fun to play. Fun to toy with you. Make you feel safe. I wonder how you would have reacted. To what? If I hadn't revealed myself and stayed hidden, only doing little things to play with you. Close your windows, turn off your computer, Move your mouse by itself. Little things. Make you wonder if I'm there, but you never know. Give you little hints that I am. I wanted to do something different with you. You did this before? Yes. And I will do it again. To who, Ben? Did you know Ben? Oh, I read that kind of. To who, Ben? Did you know Ben? Won't tell that information to you. How did Ben die? You know. No, I don't know. Did he drown? Won't tell that to you. Why? It's reserved for another. Who? Another who asks. When? Later. The window closed. I'm beginning to think that this is Ben. Maybe isn't. Maybe. I'm beginning to think that this thing isn't Ben at all. In its sadistic nature, I won't be surprised if it took the boy's name after it killed him. 12:04 p.m. My room is beginning to feel different again. There's something out there. I feel really threatened. Like there's something that was trying to reach out and strangle me, but I can't see it there. 12:46 p.m. I think Ben doesn't want to play with me anymore. I'll play again. I'll play the game again, please. Ben, can you see this? I'll play the game again. Please just stop. Please, please. Ben will make G usable by $500 Amazon gift cards and mail them to India. That's something that we were warned against, and is one of the things that you train against when you work in retail. But older people coming to buy gift cards, like large, these giant with these enormous amounts, and it was one of those things where like you wonder like will they actually fall for that? We had someone and we didn't ring them up, and I kind of wish that I kind of knew how her story ended. She insisted that she needed to send like $500 gift cards to a family member at state, and it made me horribly uncomfortable because I wanted. My gut reaction is to. My gut feeling is that I want to track down whoever told that this nice old lady this shit, and fucking feed them their own like tailbone. It's implied that he was murdered, so that means his father went up to Ben's cousin and said, I'll give you beer if you kill Ben. I forgot about that story. Oh, that story was awesome. Oh, I forgot about that fan story. I'll give you beer if you go off your son. Oh, there was a... go subscribe to Bean Daddy Mandela's channel, by the way. Because I was on a stream with him when we covered Aqua Teen Hunger Force Lost episode. The first... There were two versions of that story. The first one made me violently angry. The second one actually made me so happy that I forgave the first one. There was like... Frylock is like... he knocked on some random bitch's door. And it's like, yeah, if you want to eat, because he was starting to, like, if you want to eat, I want you to go take this knife and go kill my fucking shot in the other room. And I laughed so hard. That was so great. I'm gonna go insane trying to decide what is real, what isn't. Is Ben just playing a trick on me, or is this real? Is Ben generating these replies, or are people actually posting them? Did I see that screen flicker, or is it just my imagination? Imagine depending on the internet and trusting your eyes your entire life and then being blinded. You can't rely on it anymore. You second guess everything. for a brief moment, I am looking at my responses to the videos, and people are pointing out things that look faked or Photoshop or whatever, and there's literally no way for me to know if Ben changed anything on purpose to try and shut me up. Or maybe those replies are just constructed by Ben to try and discourage me from reaching out. Still, I get fucking caught in an infinite mindfuck loop like this, and this has been wearing on my sanity and pushing me to the edge. As I'm writing this, there's no way of telling if anyone even cares as much as I do, as much as I think they do. Just another fucking trick. Does this whole document even exist? Am I writing nothing? Nine, 10, conversation 2. What is it? What's the point of playing? I die whenever I do anything. You die because you can't figure out the secret. What? Thematic. What the fuck are you talking about? Their beauty in your suffering. The window closed. 4:09 p.m. Ben is making me play the game again. It tells me it has something very important to show me. As a summary of the two videos we watch. September 10, 2010. I like to point out I actually kind of like this format, whereas we actually saw the videos and saw the posts themselves he made about the videos, and now we're getting his actual thoughts during the time in which those videos and those gameplay footage was occurring. I don't see people actually do that often when it comes to creepypasta, especially. I know professional authors and whatnot tend to dip in and out of certain. They kind of have that kind of setup. I know Bram Stoker's Dracula kind of takes place in multiple time periods, and some of them kind of interlace with each other. But I don't see that often in creepypasta, and it kind of sucks because I think it kind of adds another layer to things. And Drowned.wmv, the Drowned.wmv was up, and I woke today. I remember typing it up, and I don't remember even posting it. He censored it again. There's no mentioning of the old man. I have no voice anymore. I'm only posting what he wants me to. I am the mask he uses to disguise himself as he lies. 11:55 a.m. There's an entire video summary of a video that I don't remember doing. Reading through the summary, this sounds morbid, resembling my dream 2 nights ago, except on a far more sadistic scale. These moon children, there's something to them, almost as if there's another entity from Ben. Something happened last night that I can't remember. I'm posting the 4th summary on the forums now. A shadow on my chair moved. $12 p.m. Ben won't let me visit YouTube. I can browse the rest of the sites, but he keeps exiting the window when I go into YouTube. Why? 2:02 p.m. I'm feeling the air start to constrict. I don't think I'm alone here. Whatever aura has been here is starting to get more violent. I'm trying to 2:44 p.m. I'm trying to get into contact with Ben on Coverbot. He's not responding. I just get the AI. 3:51 p.m. My ears aren't fooling me. I'm hearing the reverse song of healing. I keep hearing it. 4:23 p.m. Now I'm positive of it. Earlier I thought it was a weird coincidence, but just now I went to open my window, and 3 floors down at ground level I saw the old man. I'm completely positive I did. It's the same guy. He was just staring up at my window, standing in the middle of campus. If any students took notice of him, they didn't seem to acknowledge it. I think, are we almost done? Oh wow, we're actually done, almost done with the story. I thought it was longer than this. Okay. So we're almost. I'll try not to go into any tangents. Let's try to do this as best we can. That's where my notes ended. I fled my room, taking the cartridge with me. I don't want to go into details of what happened. I'll lose my train of thought as I hammer out these last details. It's been roughly 2 days since then. This is the last summary in service to you, and the final video to you guys, Matt.WMV. The last video entry I made, Matt.WMV, began to normal. I spawned at Clocktown, as usual, and nothing seemed out of place. Determined to set things right, and play the Oath of Order on top of the clock on the 4th day, I prepared myself. I sped up time to go to the final day, making my way to the observatory. As I got up to the telescope and approached the astronomer, he would not let me look through his telescope. He told me that it would be cheating and I should follow the rules. Despite my repeated efforts, the game would not let me do the 4th day glitch, no matter how hard I tried. I tried working around the game to do the glitch, but it was animate this time. Regardless if I simply had the illusion of free will in prior games, this time the game was much more aggressive than anything I've ever seen. It eventually told me to go to Akana Canyon, where the game would end and would stop haunting me. Anxious and desperate to end this nightmare, I played the Song of Soaring and ended up there. I was told to check my inventory, and when I would find the answers to the end of the game. I arrived at Akana Canyon and saved my progress at the owl statue. As I searched through my inventory, I noticed that I was missing a recurring song, The Elegy of Emptiness. Obviously, once I traveled there and learned the song, I suppose the last thing I needed before Ben decided to had enough fun playing with me. Ben is a manipulator. He tries to fool his victims to security and makes you drop your guard like a Venus flytrap and ensnares them. I'm nothing but a puppet to him. He enjoys seeing what kind of human emotions you can tap into by doing different things. There are still some things about this whole experience that don't make sense. But then again, I never was good at figuring out these things, and I'm not exactly in the right state of mind to. Like giving you all the pieces for the puzzles for you to analyze and piece together the missing links. I'm typing these closing thoughts on the library at the computer campus. I've eaten myself the notes I've stored to my infected computer for the last 4 days, and then I'm going to combine them, copy-paste those notes in my opening and closings that I've typed there on a safe public computer. The text from the document. I'm not taking any chances of spreading Ben. I do not wish this horrible torment on anyone, and I've made sure that I have my bases covered here. I didn't run into any problems with Ben when I was back on my computer trying to email myself the notes. Right under his fucking nose. He has no idea what he just let me do. I have no problems opening the text document from my infected computer and email either. I can't describe you how it feels to finally get the word out in post. The nightmare ends here. That said, do not download any of my videos or anything about my videos. The YouTube video, audio ripper, a screen grab, whatever. I do not know how he can spread, but I know that he's watching them on YouTube and reading my text and won't allow. But I know that just watching him on YouTube and reading my text won't allow him to be able to spread. Otherwise, he wouldn't have needed my help in the first place. But I strongly recommend you don't take anything you can see in the streaming, anything you see on your own personal computer. I just realized that when Ben says do you want to play with me, he doesn't mean the game. He means messing with Joe Usable. He means that messing with Joe Usable is the game. This will be my last posting. I'm putting this on the forum for the world. If you see any further posts from me after the current date, September 12th, and after the current time, 12:08 a.m., discredit them. It already proven to me that Ben can access my account and password and manipulate my computer. And like I said, I have no idea what extent I can do this. But know that It will do anything to break free. He is desperate to ensure your safety. Just forget about me, please. This obviously goes without saying, but from here on out, don't download any images I may have put up. Any files, anything. This 5th day will be my last day. I'm going to burn the cartridge and then come back to destroy my laptop. Again, even though I don't even know you, this is sort of bittersweet for me. This semester I didn't really have any friends, or rather I stopped paying attention to them. But I suppose that's partially to blame. But I suppose that's partially to blame because I am the genius who picked to live in a single. I think it means a single room. I suppose someone to get a hold of me and save me before I got a little too immersed in the game would literally save my life. However, it proved too much for me, and I'm glad it happened, and I could get the warning out so Ben dies here. Lastly, thank you for taking the time to open this, and now open yourselves to me and hear my story, despite maybe not believing me. You didn't have to do that. Really, you didn't have to. Your support the entire time has kept me going, and I'm finally free of this. Thanks again, Joe Usable. So now we're gonna watch the last video. How long is it? Oh no, Ben's replicating. He's like the replicators from that one science fiction show. Star Trek. The counter resets. Oh, jump scares, isn't it? Oh fuck. I'm glad you did that. Well, you know, what was that? Great, now I'm getting a fucking picture of Ben. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, I was just opening for that. Yeah, so he's saying that he didn't have a roommate, so it's implied that Ben was pretending to be the roommate. Oh, wait, I don't know how... Hold on. Live in a single circle. Oh, I didn't even pick up on that, to be honest. That's really cool. That's a really cool detail. I can't believe I didn't notice that. You know what it is? I think it's because earlier in the story, like very early in the story, when he goes with his friend Tyler to confront the old man, my mind immediately associated the roommate mentioned with Tyler. I thought Tyler was the one that was filling his friend's final wish. But now I think about it, like going over it again, it kind of makes sense. Like Tyler talks about, like, oh, well, I gotta honor my friend's wishes despite, like, I don't know, it seems too. He seemed too lenient with like a lot of this weirdness. And now I think about it, it also completely goes against what how Joe Usable is depicting himself right here, where he obviously does not want to get anyone else involved with this bizarre phenomenon that's come to plague his life, and he wants to make sure that Ben doesn't spread, so he would not at all involve anyone else with it. So that is another indication that Ben is the one who superseded in this. That's a really nice touch. I didn't even think about that. Like the fact that you had to mention that, and actually my mind fills in the blanks, and like, oh wait, that actually makes sense. That's a good horror twist. That's actually like Mike said, it's a really effective horror twist, because it's one of those things where it's up to you to come to that conclusion. You can read the story as it is and still like not come to that conclusion, and you can still come out of it like enjoying it. Like, okay, let's serious time. How many shots have I had now? Like 4, 3? No, not 3. 1, 2, I think 4, yeah. So that was Ben Drowned. And again, I think there's more to this. It's been, I think there's been more. I think Joe Usable, cause I saw on the suggested videos that, Ben Drowned apparently has a lot more going for it. Hold on, let me actually look it up right now. Okay. Is there more to it? Or is what I'm plot summary? Wait, is it written? Because it could be a thing where Joe Usable, the original writer of the story, had no hand in it, and I really don't like that. Okay, there's original. Oh, it has a giant ass fucking Wikipedia page. Hold on. I need to find the other post because I probably have dedicated streams based on the other ones. Why can't I find them? Will it actually okay, you know what, I'm trying to, this has been Drown 2 Drown Harder. Also, this is when the story was originally posted, so you had to download it from Jad's roommate. And this said not to download anything. It appears to be a nice gotcha ending. Yeah, that's a very nice touch. It's a very poignant touch too. And it feels kind of weird because so many creepypasta try to ape off that ending where, you know, like trying to spread it as much as possible. But what makes it work is that it's so subdued that you don't think about it until you actually, again, like dedicate some thought into it, and then it makes it all the more chilling. So the implication is that we've already unintentionally helped Laughing Jack. I said Laughing Jack because I'm looking at Google trying to find more posts, and I looked at Laughing Jack and it was a Freudian slip. I promise you. Laughing Jack has nothing to do with Ben Drowned. Hopefully. Please. Please, God. Ben Drowned full story. Why can't I find the whole thing? Because there are apparently like 2 other additions to this. There's the Haunted Cartridge Moon Children Awakening, it says on Wikipedia. Okay, so usable. Is there a website where I can read the whole thing? I don't know. I'll find it at some point. So let's talk about the story itself. Again, there's a fair amount to unpack. I've already voiced my sort of complaints with the tone set by the first few chapters, where it feels like it immediately jumps into him being like him kind of going full throttle into a lot of this conspiracy talk and like being very like kind of like losing its skepticism of the supernatural. Although, oddly enough, as I read on, that criticism I had was mitigated by the change in tone, where, or the shift in the narrative, where we read some notes and see how he gradually unravels during that time. Like, it was one of the few times where I made a complaint about a narrative structure that's, as the story goes on, is justified within the story itself, and I think that's really cool. The Moon is one website where moon children talk to each other, and Awakening and Awakening, I think it's just the videos. Just the videos? Oh, that's... I like the videos, but I like reading the story too. Wikipedia has a decent of CBT too. What is CBT? Can you give me a non-abbreviated version of that? Because I think... You know what I think of when I think of CBT. Yeah, this was surprisingly effective. Like, I came to this expecting to be more to be a lot more scrutinize it a little bit more and be a lot more critical. But yeah, it still holds up. It stands out when it comes to a lot of the stories. A lot of I stand by my criticism in regards to the Wait a minute, hold on, hold on a second. Wait a second. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Because my criticism of the over detailed explanation or descriptions of the moon children sewing the limbs, like I think it was you guys pointed out in the chat where the certain aspects of the narrative in the story. Some of it is Joe Usable, some of it is Ben fucking with Joe Usable, or like lying, and that's one of those things where it kind of felt like an informed quality rather than something that we actually saw. And then again, I go back and thought about it. I thought about it just then. The overly gory description of him, like being mutilated by the Moon Children, and then I realized that later on in the story, he mentions that in one of the descriptions that it was like, yeah, Ben edited the description of the Moon Children into one of the summaries and made it a lot more horrifying. So this was Ben in this section that where it was like overly descriptive. And that, again, I don't know why I didn't come to that conclusion until just then. Yeah, this is... I don't know what to say. This is really fucking good. Oh, sorry. I have no reason to have these headphones on. Ah, my ears. You can probably see it from... I don't know if you can see it from the light of the screen. The fucking tape I had on it. It broke 2 times. But I'm kind of ghetto when it comes to broken electronics. Does it function? If it still functions, I can't justify throwing it away. Just fucking jerry rig it until it can stay on your head. Then, I don't know if you see. Hold on, see this? See that? There's Gorilla Tape, and I put 2 wall. You know those things you put up the wall, and those are like bracing it on the 2 are bracing it right here and bracing it right there to keep it like flexible. So I can like curve and whatnot and actually conform to my head. Put it together with Crayola fucking model magic. So yeah, this was the story itself. It's one of those things, like right now I feel kind of awkward because a lot of the complaints I had about the story, again, were addressed within the story. It's like as I kept reading, and I felt like I kind of jumped the gun when it came to like offering my 2 cents. Yeah, like oh man, why is this dream sequence so over the top? Was it my phone was run over by a car and I still use it? Firm believer that this little function is still worth having. That good man. Yeah, I was like, why is this dream sequence on the top? And then later on, I think of, oh yeah, he said that the dream sequence was a lot more needlessly vivid and like creepy than he imagined, than he originally picked. No wait, I think, hold on. I'm gonna look at it. Wait a minute. Yeah, there's an entire video summary of a video that I don't remember doing. Reading as though something more, but resembling my dream from 2 nights ago. Several far more sadistic to these moon children. Something about them. I was almost a separate entity from Ben. Yeah, I think that right there, far more sadistic scale. So that was Ben, I think, fucking with Joe Usable by describing it in more vivid and disgusting detail. Almost like a very subtle warning to him. Like, this is something I could potentially do to you. One thing, like, what if, like, the old man? Because I remember, I posted in Discord some time ago, like, it was like a picture of the old man from Jacob's pilot that unfortunately didn't get done of Darklands, and he wanted to cover it was like going to be like a kind of like a live action adaptation of Ben Drowned, and the old man he had there to play the character. You know, he was like a professional actor and whatnot. I posted an image of him, and I found that image because I was looking up the old man in relation to Ben Drowned because I thought he didn't come up again. But there's something genuinely chilling about the fact that he's just there near the end. No explanation, and he just shows the fuck up and doesn't really do anything, just like it's like several floors down below. And again, it might just be Joe Usable, like his sleep deprived mind fucking with him, where he's just seeing the old man because that's just a memory he has. But the old man that gave him the cartridge, who I don't think it ever gets an explanation. He's just down there. Or maybe he did it because he was pretending to be Joe Usable. He was trying to make Joe Usable make more mentally touch than he already has. Oh, that's another interesting interpretation. I feel maybe it's again maybe it's the alcohol talking, but I feel happy talking about this story in a way that I don't usually feel whenever I cover stuff like this. Like I feel like I could talk. I feel like I can have an actual conversation with people in regards to the layers that may be there or not be there. That's a fact. That's a sign of a really, at the very least, interesting narrative weaving. L-Man turns out to be chaos, and Jazz really the Final Fantasy origin protagonist. Trying to think of what else I can really say about this. Like, I'm trying to, like, what is my favorite, I guess, sequence in this entire story? Again, I think I'm being a little bit cliche, but I think a lot of people enjoy the Cleverbot sequence in this story. It gets referenced a lot, so much so that Cleverbot actually got the AI on that one kind of got a little bit fucked up from all these people coming onto that to make references to Ben Drown, and you see it in the fucking the thing up there where the admins of the Phantom site straight up said, "Don't post any Cleverbot chats. We don't want to see it. We will ban you." But I think that it really is the strongest bit because, again, it's one of those moments where the narrative takes a turn where we get away from the game. Like, we really finally hammer home the point that the game is a small part of the story itself. It's a small part of the narrative. It's not the most important thing in here. The most important thing in here is the character of Joe Usable and Ben as an entity, how this creature is affecting his life. Like, it's really fucking, what the fuck? I didn't expect to see this. Hold on. What was that? No, you get back here, you son of a bitch. What is this? What? I feel like oh. What in the fuck? What is this? I'm actually kind of getting chills. What is this? Okay, I feel like I'm get out of my fucking face. Get out of here. Yeah, I need to look into the other stories. Oh, that actually kind of creeped me the fuck out. Methodsofelvolution.com. Finally appeared and I see you. Are there no more written stories, or is it just the videos? It wouldn't be a story if Jad was a game journalist. It wouldn't have made 5 minutes of play. That you'd be stuck on fucking. If it was a video game journalist, he would constantly get killed on the first day because he'd be running around not knowing how to get past little kids, and the moon would come and kill them all. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, so I. Hmm. Oh no! It is Ben. It is Ben. I need to look this up on my. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you're right. It is Joe Usable's roommate. I don't want to look at this because I don't want to spoil shit for myself. So this has been fun. I really did enjoy this story. I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I came and dissected it. It had, again, a lot more layers than I initially expected. This stream has gone long enough. Hold on. Check the time. Uh, we managed to not push over 4 hours though. That calls for. Fuck it. I'm not taking it. I've had enough. I'm cutting myself off. One more shot. This is my last one though. The last one. I'm not gonna pour that much. If Joe Usable found and if Joe Usable's friend didn't go into town for a week, then Joe Usable would have never gone to the garage sale, and he would have been fine. That's what we call the butterfly effect, my dude. Okay, so I'm done. I'm gonna take my flabby. Oh god, my fucking second chin is disturbing me. I'm gonna take my flabby fucking face off screen. And honestly, I can't think of a more. My sister scared the shit out of me. I can't think of a more effective way to cap this story off than serenading you with the best video of all time. So just give me 1 second, and then we can really give Ben Drown the respectful send-off that it really deserves. Because you guys know I like to end my streams on a high note. Just give me 1 second. I'm an old man. I don't know how to function properly. Oh no. Oh no. Wait, something's happening. Oh no.
Ton, 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 ton. La candela. Ton, 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 ton. La candela. Ton, 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 ton. La candela. Ton, 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 ton. La candela. Aquí se mueve la candela, aquí se baila como quiera, aquí se baila la candela, aquí se baila como quiera.
La tierra va a temblar cuando yo me mueva. Mi baile bailará, esperando su soledad.
Aquí se mueve la candela, aquí se baila como quiera, aquí se baila la candela, aquí se baila como quiera.
Prepárate a un que tu pareja suelta su trabajo que tranquila. Buscará todos sus parejas y el que no empatará. Aquel chico se para un rato, aquel no está sin zapatos. No me encontré por todas partes, ya no sabe qué
La candela.
dice el tiempo que todo un poco, esos andares.
La candela.
No me encontré por todas partes, ya no sabe qué
La candela.
dice el tiempo que todo un poco, esos andares.
La candela. Aquí se mueve la candela, aquí se baila como quiera, aquí se baila la candela, aquí se baila como quiera, aquí se mueve la candela, aquí se baila como quiera, aquí se baila la candela, aquí se baila como quiera.